Welcome, everybody, to VSN Friday Night Football, where we are on a humid, and I'm talking humid, Ron, monsoon type of humid. We're in Brawley, California, Warren Field, as we get ready to watch the Brawley Wildcats take on the visiting Cibola Wildcats. With me from day one is Ron Rubio. Ron just got finished, to be honest with you. Ron just got finished with the JV game, man. Tell us real quick a little bit about that, Ron.
Brawley JV went ahead and played a non-conference game versus Southwest from El Centro and came ahead with a victory, 33-7, so very proud of that. But on to tonight's game with the Cibola Raiders and Brawley Wildcats, opening home game for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they've been playing 4 weeks away. They started off with the scrimmage. We were at El Cap High School. They had a scrimmage against Scripps Ranch. They were a little bit outpowered, both teams. Little went back and forth, but you could tell the dominance on the Scripps Ranch. They were playing a tougher schedule. And, you know, we've talked about this before. Brawley decided to play that tough schedule like that to get them ready for the schedule. But then you go into the first week of the season and you start off with Mater Dei, and to be honest with you, there's some issues right now with Mater Dei, COVID issues, but you talk about, in my opinion, they're in Division III, Mater Dei. I think that will be the toughest opponent in the Division III that there is right now. I mean, what's your thoughts on the Mater Dei?
Well, Mater Dei was one of the toughest football teams that was so far at this young part of the season. They are one of the best teams that we ran across, you know, that we've seen. So you're talking about Mater Dei, you're talking about Scripps Ranch. You know, Scripps Ranch was a very good football team. But in Division III, we're talking Division III. You also have to mention Mount Carmel, who beat Central.
That's true.
You know, so, you know, it's early in the season. Game 3 for a lot of people. Like you said, Mater Dei may be having issues with COVID. But let's see where that takes you. This is the kind of season that we're in. You know, everybody's going to have to deal with COVID. It's just like an ineligibility list. You know, your kid has bad grades or COVID. So that's something that coaching staffs and schools are going to have to learn how to juggle. Those who do it well are going to be the successful programs.
So talking with Coach Self earlier, Ron, I was with him on Tuesday. He asked me, Will, what do you rate the teams in? I go, well, I don't know exactly how to rate them, but I will tell you what. I will rate you from the teams that I saw. Now, you know, we've both been to those games, and I would have to rate Mater Dei number 1, and then number 2. Last week we did the Palm Desert El Centro game. Now, when you start comparing to the teams so let's compare to the Palm Desert team to the Mater Dei. Mater Dei's way above them on that one. But now, Ronnie, give me your opinion on where you would put the Palm Desert to the Valley Center game, which Brawley played a week earlier.
Well, to me, the deal was, viewing the Valley Center Brawley game, that was kind of something that I don't think this should have happened. I think Brawley should have came away with a victory. I wouldn't put Valley Center up there with the elite teams like Scripps Ranch, but just on viewing who we've seen so far, I'm going to go Mater Dei 1, Scripps Ranch 2, Palm Desert 3. Brawley Central looking up at those top 3 teams, but, you know, they're not going to see those guys right now. You know, they're not going to see them, but I'm just saying as far as what we've seen so far, programs, those 3 teams, they catch my eye more so than the top 2 Valley teams. And right now I'm telling you, even though Brawley and Central have not hit their stride yet, they're far from it. They're gaining their traction. They're playing big teams, Will.
Yeah.
They're not playing average Joes, man. They're playing teams that are above average quality. So, you know, that's you're gonna see what that reaped down the road. Not immediately, but you'll see that down the road with the competition they'll be seeing down the road.
Well, the reason we talk about that is because there's a level of play, and with Central having played Palm Desert, and we like to create, you know, a little bit of drama, if you would say, because we'd like to see how each team is playing. But, you know, tonight's game, Ron, is important. And the factor that it's important is because Cibola played Imperial. Now, is Imperial, in my opinion right now, I would rank the teams, to be honest with you, I would rank El Centro number 1, Brawley 2, and then Imperial 3. But look, Ron, they're all tight right there. I mean, they're all tight. I mean, you know, you don't know. So with Imperial having played Cibola last week, what are we going to see out of Cibola, like, you know, this week? That's our question. And we'll get to that right now, Ron, because I want to hear your opinion on that. We have a special edition video for the 13 fallen soldiers, Brawley. As you can see out in the field right now, they have 13 flags, and they have 13 seats down there. So without further ado, I want you to watch this video, and we'll be right back.
to all those who have fallen to protect our freedom, we say thank you for making the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Thank you.
Oh, that was pretty touching right there, Ron, as we had a moment of silence for not only the 13 fallen soldiers that happened a couple of weeks ago in Afghanistan, but also for the 20 years since 9/11, which is, I'll tell you what, Ron, Brawley's always been special. Billy Brewer, Simon Canales, and Jesse, they've always gone out of their way to always make this memorable. So as we get ready to see the Brawley Wildcat band out here, Ron, let's talk a little bit about Cibola head coach right now. So what do we got to know about Cibola head coach here, Ron?
Well, Stephen Fritz, new to the league. Stephen Fritz, new to the league. He's been here for 3 seasons with Cibola, trying to get traction as far as trying to get their program up off the ground. They're not saying that they're not an outstanding Arizona from the Yuma School District, but Cibola has always been one of the strongest teams they've had out there. They were a new program, then Gila Ridge pops up, then Yuma Catholic, but Cibola's been there after Yuma, been there after Kofa. So they're finding their way around just like everybody else. 3rd season around, they had a rough go last week versus Imperial. Things, like we were talking about earlier in the pregame, they had a little bit of COVID issues, so they're going to have some starters back that weren't there versus Imperial. Other than that, they had trouble on special teams last week. They had trouble on special teams. They were kind of slow on the offensive end and kind of had a little bit of trouble defending Imperial passing game.
And we'll be back right now with a rundown on Brawley football right after our national anthem. Well, Ron, I'll tell you what, there's not a lot of numbers out there in that band, but they did sound pretty good. And I was looking out there on the field, Ron. It's good to see a positive crowd out here. So, Ron, let's get straight into Coach Self a little bit now. As we talk a little bit about Coach Self, let's just go ahead and what's happened with the Brawley football team these last couple of weeks, starting off with, I would just say these last 2 weeks. Ron, what do we expect to see out of the Wildcats tonight?
Well, this is John Self's 11th season with the Wildcats. This is what will be his 11th home opener. Looking at, as the old saying goes, you can't wait for home cooking. Get home. You've been on the road for, seems like a month already when you count in the Scripps Ranch game.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So, you've been on the road. You've been hitting it. I mean, you went back to Mater Dei, tough opponent. Go to Valley Center, tough loss. You go to Indio, you kind of, get the dust off your legs and you pull out a victory. So right now the thing is for the Wildcats and John Self, they want to get traction. The word I'm using traction because that's what a team does. You start rolling, start finding the winning ways. Yeah, and you have to really measure yourself. Is this an inferior opponent to me or are we superior to them?
Yeah,
and
they're not going to take it easy on Cibola.
They're not going to take it easy, and that's what John Self didn't want to do last week against Indio. And I know these Wildcats will not do this against the Cibola Raiders tonight.
All right, and while we were at Media Day a couple of weeks ago, John Self had a message for everybody. We're going to play that right now, and we'll be back. I'm Will Torres, Ron Rubio. We are VSN.
And when the grind starts at 6 a.m., and that's our weightlifting, and we do that, 4 days a week, and we do that all year long. And we have 6-period sports PE where we go out and we work there, and we work at practice, and it's their commitment. We may start off with a freshman class of 60 kids, but by the time they graduate, we're looking at anywhere from 20 to 12. Those are the kids that can stand the grind, and the grind is taking care of academics first. Being an athlete and not getting in trouble at school and keeping your grades up. All those are important things. And we're not just trying to build athletes at Brawley. We're trying to build great men when they get out.
Back to the 25, 35, cuts to the right, 40, 45, and he's going to make it all the way up to the 49-yard line.
Welcome back once again. Will Torres, Ron Rubio. We got Eric Swain, Juan Matus. We got Jalen Fong down on the field doing an excellent job through our Instagram page, and we got Sarah on camera. Welcome, everybody, as we're looking at the captains out on the field right now. Representing the captain is Ethan Gutierrez, number 13, and Isaiah Young.
Number 23.
Number 23, Isaiah Young. So it looks like Brawley has won the toss. And I always have an issue with sometimes the referee. They talk to him, but So Cibola has won the toss. They had deferred to the second half. Brawley will receive the ball starting the game right here. So, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get the ball, but they will have a choice to start the second season.
Right, and it's just an honor to be a captain. And for the Cibola Raiders, I had number 1, Matthew Gonzalez, and number 8, George Garcia, and number 58, Maximiliano Perez. Now, last week, Cibola, we're going to see right now on the first possession who was missing from last week's game versus Imperial, because that's a team that we scouted. And apparently they had 6 or 7 kids that weren't there last week. How many of them were starters? We didn't get the scoop on that. However, we will see on the first possession.
So we'd like to say hello to our brothers that are at the game at Imperial versus Valley Center. Make sure that if you get a chance to watch both games, that's Vic Carrillo and John Moreno. They will be at Imperial High School, where Imperial High School will be hosting the Valley Center Jaguars. That's another interesting game right there,
Sure
Ron.
Is,
So you're going to be able to tell. Well, before we get to kickoff, I just want to say hello to make sure everybody goes and visits our website, our new and improved website. That's at Valley Sports Network at valleysportsnet.com. Subscribe to your YouTube channel, VSNsports.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Johnny's Burritos, family-owned operating, serving the Imperial Valley for the last 60 years. Reach Air Medical Services. Patient care is our number 1 priority, assuring calmness, security, comfort, recognized for compassionate, medical, effective message for patient transport. Fast, safe, and reliable. All right, Ron, back to you now, my play-by-play guy, as we get ready to see the Wildcats receive the ball.
Here we go. Deep to receive for the Wildcats is number 6, Daniel Camilo. Alongside him will be Brandon Porras. And it's a little pooch kick, and it's going to be fair caught by the Wildcats. Good job by Dawson Figueroa at the 40-yard line. Great field position will to start their first drive.
Well, one thing that Van Diver, while he was up here setting up the camera, did tell us, they're not going to take it easy like they did against India. They want to come out strong, they want to come out fast, and they just want to come at you face to face, Ron.
Well, let me tell you something. Every time Cibola goes into special teams, whether it be punt, return, kickoff, return, even extra point, last week it was quite the adventure, and so we'll see what happens. Here we go. 1st and 10 for the Wildcat. Ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. Beautiful field position for the Wildcats. Gutierrez will be under center. 2 receivers to his left. Cibola runs what they call a 3-3 Okie stack, and here comes Gutierrez. Gutierrez to the 50, cuts back 40, and he's going to run that ball up, and it looks like we're going to get a targeting call. I'm not kind of a high hit there. Not sure who was the number on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming from the back, Judge, right there, so I'm not really sure what that call is going to be now. Ron, in your opinion, did he go in there with his helmet?
I just saw the collision, and I'm going to speculate, yes.
It's going to be
on the Wildcats.
So I'm going to have a push in the back against the Wildcats.
Okay,
Remember that previous block? I think it might be against number 6.
And it was still good enough for a first down. Why, Will?
Why? Because where the penalty happened, it was past the sticks. Once it's past the sticks, it's a spot foul, and then they go from there. So it's a first down, and then they assess the penalty yardage on that.
Well said. And either way you look at it, Wildcats will take over at the 50.
I know that a lot of people are used to hearing other people just guess what the penalties are, but I will try to do my best to get it right.
And I will try to lead you to the correct way to say it. Good job.
Much appreciated, Coach.
Sometimes I catch you off guard, but here we go. So the Wildcats are going to spread things out a little bit. 2 receivers on both sides. Single back will be Isaiah Young. Wildcats looking to catch momentum. Here comes Young. Young's going to find the middle. Young's going to find the 30, 20, 10. Touchdown Wildcats. 2 plays. Now.
Van Diver wasn't kidding when he said that, right, Ron?
Well, he was not kidding. And like I said, 2 plays get you in the end zone. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Touchdown Wildcats with 11:16 remaining in the first quarter.
Now, we did hear from multiple coaches that there was approximately 6 players that did not play against the Imperial team. Now, John's not sitting here. Self's not sitting here saying, hey, listen, you know what, we're going to use that as an excuse. He didn't care. He goes, we need to play better, sound football like, the Brawley style. So with that said, man, score making it 7-0 run. The Wildcats on the second play of the game, right?
Second play of the second possession, and Jorge Haro knocks it through. So the Wildcats will now have a 7-0 lead with 11:16 into the first quarter.
And VSN will be right back.
And was there an earthquake or what?
Welcome back, everybody. After we noticed a tremendous amount of effort from the Wildcats to be able to score on the second down, and that was including a penalty against the Wildcats. So within 2 plays, the Wildcats were ready to get on the scoreboard 7-0 with only 11:16 gone in the first quarter, Ron.
Back to receive for the Cibola Raiders, number 6. Keep your eye on number 6. That is Zach Stoltz. Stoltz had a 90-yard touchdown return versus Imperial. He's at the 10. Looking for some blocks and a great tackle by number 24. That is number 24 for the Wildcats, Gilbert Corrales. Gilbert goes by Tweedy. So now, great tackle, great coverage on the kickoff return for the Wildcats.
Now, Tweedy right there, now he is a junior. Is that correct?
He's a junior. He's a junior, yes, sir, junior.
Now, one thing I'm going to go ahead and call it right now. This is the same Brawley team that I saw against Modern Day, Ron.
A little bit more pep in the step.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly.
Coming right out, man.
A little bit more swagger, And this is what Brawley, and not just Brawley, but any team, this is what a strong team that wants to show everybody else in the league what they're capable of.
You know, the thing is, Brawley has come out. This is their 4th game of the year. This is Cibola's 2nd. But Brawley has learned from the previous 3 games. They took 2 losses in a row. They're recovering against Indio. And here we go. Give us to number 20, and that will be Adrian Montoya. Montoya was not present for the Imperial game, nor was their quarterback, number 9. I believe that is number 9. Andrea Costa. Andrea Costa was in the lineup. No, he was not in the lineup last week versus Imperial. He is their starting quarterback. He is a senior, 6 foot 185, directing the offense. A couple of split outsiders. Sean Marshall is a senior, split to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Wildcats in their basic 5-2 defense. Cibola will run a power set, which is out of the gun, and give up the middle, bounces out to the left. He's looking for a running room to the left. Brought down at the 19-yard line. On the stop may have been number 35, and that is a no number we have for the Wildcats. I need a number for number 35 on the Wildcats, if anybody out there knows it.
So, Ron, do we still see some players coming up that weren't available? None? Or we just having issues with the numbers, Ron? Because I know last week we had some freshmen that were moved up.
And that's a good point. I believe number 35 could be one of the freshmen. He's an outside linebacker, or it could be Brody Enders. I'm going to have to verify that because we do not have a 35. And here we go. Looking left. Pressure up the middle. Wildcats are swarming, and he's going to be stopped. And Johnny on the spot there. Looks like Chris Carrillo was there to help with the sack along with a couple of Wildcats. I'm going to give Camilo the first initial hit on that. So with that being said, 4th down and 3 for the Cibola Raiders. Looks like the pump formation is coming in. Number 6 does everything. He's a jack of all trades. That is Zach Stoltz. As I said, Stoltz last week, 90-yard kickoff return. He also is in the backfield, and he'll do a quick punt, the old-fashioned style, 50s. Snap it to the running back and punt it.
Yeah, that's just a lot of old school. I actually like kind of that style of football sometimes because you always have to keep your containment in.
Yeah, on 4th down, they just pitch it to him. It's another low punt. As I said, last week they had trouble with the snap. Again, nice roll. Camilo's going to field it at the 40. Camilo looking to go to the left. Camilo cuts back, and he's going to gain maybe 5 yards off that return. Good decision by Camilo to pick it up instead of letting the bounce away and losing yardage. Wildcats again. Very good field position at the 45-yard line.
And as we get ready to change hands on the ball, with the Wildcats getting pretty good possession of the ball and also good field position, Ron, they're going to be on their own 45 right there. So, let's see what the Wildcats can do on what I would call a short field, medium short field here.
55 yards to pay dirt. Here we go, 55 yards away. Gutierrez is looking. Gutierrez quick out to number 10. That is going to be David Camacho. Dave Camacho, nice to see Camacho with the grab. Camacho, gain of 8, 2nd down and 2. Now, these are the kind of things that Wildcat offense may want to work on, get that passing game going. They've got Ethan Gutierrez.
And that's Isaac Rios on the tackle, number 20, from his quarterback position, coming in for the tackle to hold him down.
Gutierrez again is going to whip it out to Young on the out route. Young spins away and brought down again by number 20, Isaac Rios. Rios, looks like we have 2 20s for the Cibola Raiders. Isaac Rios and Adrian Montoya. Maybe they're trying to play tricks on us.
Well, they're doing something, but Ron, I see the Wildcats in their practice. This is a lot, that little short pass out in the flat. This is something that they work on a lot, correct, Ron?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants to get, now I'm not going to say greedy, but hey, that's called a check off. If everybody's covered downfield, check it down to your running back, and that's what they did. Young again looked like he had a forward lean. He's going to get a 1st down, a gain of maybe 4 yards on the play, gives the Wildcats a 1st down into Cibola territory.
Tackle made by George Garcia. Now, and when we say that, Ron, the Wildcats are running up to the line of scrimmage up here. That's,
I think this is the fastest I've seen them.
Yeah.
In all 3 games that we've been at, all the 4 games I've seen them, this is the fastest, and this is something they may have worked on in practice. Gutierrez under center, and he fumbles the snap. So a loss of 1. That'll bring the ball back to the 44-yard line of Cibola. 2nd down and 11. It could have been far worse, but Gutierrez was able to fall on the ball.
And just when we're talking about the Wildcats getting strong, you know, being effective, missing, you know, just like perfect on like a clock, just tick, 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 they make a fumble. Now, you know, they have to recuperate. Still, they only lost 1 yard on this. You know, the important thing is to at least get 5+ on this, Ron.
You know, there is a difference in games. You know, the Wildcats have had, 3 games under their belt. This is the 2nd game for Cibola. Cibola, they had a hard time tackling last week versus Imperial. And here's that option. The second thing I was about to say, one thing that Imperial did well against Cibola last week, Will, was the run option. You know, the quarterback would either fake the give, pull it, and run. And Cibola had a hard time reacting to that. And I'm pretty sure Coach Brandon Young's going to take a look at that because they got 2 good kids could do that.
Well,
the quarterback and Isaiah Young.
Well, that's the thing. You got to respect
Right.
Isaiah Young running up the middle on them.
Shotgun formation, that's trips to the right. Wide side of field will be the right for Gutierrez. Gutierrez gives 2. That's Young. Young's going to cut to the 20, 30. And he's going to fight his way, struggling to get forward progress. And a great bunch of tackling out there by number 8 for, that's George Garcia. That's Matthew Gonzalez.
Well, you're not going to bring him down with arm tackling him.
And
That's
you're not
for
going to
sure.
bring him down alone. I mean, I want to meet the kid that can tackle Isaiah Young all by himself. You're going to need a bunch of kids to bring that kid down. Isaiah Young has a lot of drive in him. Running the ball very well. Gain of, what would you say, that 4 yards?
Yeah.
Make that 3.
Well,
2nd down and 7, according to the scoreboard. 5:59 remaining in the first quarter. Wildcats again, are they under center? Yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they are. Split backs. That's a new set. Very rarely will you see the Wildcats in split backs. And here it is. RPO. Run pass option. That's what I'm talking about. That was 3 options Gutierrez had. Give to Young, keep the ball, or throw the little bubble, I believe, to Platt, or I'm not too sure who was out there. So that's 3 options.
now,
And it confuses the defense because as a defender, you go, do I go get that quarterback or do I get the guy he's looking at?
the defensive player, that outside linebacker, Ron, was flat-footed. He didn't know who to go after.
Hey, you're in no man's land, man. You don't know what to do. No man's land. Here we go.
First of all, Ethan Gutierrez is one of the most deceptive,
Deceptive kid, shifty runner.
very shifty, yes.
Motion by Camilo. Camilo taking the pitch. Camilo's looking to weave his way to the 10. Camilo will fall forward, and they will spot him at the 10-yard line. A gain of maybe 5 yards. We'll give him 6.
You know, take away that fumble, Ron. Brawley Wildcats have not had a negative play from scrimmage
That's
yet.
right.
I know it's early in the game with 4:57 to go till the second quarter, Ron, but there's a lot of positive things going on for these Brawley Wildcats.
You have to start somewhere from snap 1 to the 100th or whatever, how many snaps you get on offense. You try to be perfect on every play. It's just like a rep in practice. You're going to do stuff well. You don't do everything average. Here we go. Wildcats will have the ball on.
Per se, Ron, what is the average play on the offensive side of the ball? Is it 35-40 around there?
What, on what?
Offensive plays ran by the offense.
No. If in a game, if you huddle up and run, you can run 50, 60 plays. And here goes Young right off the left side. Touchdown, Isaiah Young. And as we were talking, good handoff. That's the momentum that Will was talking about. It's proving. It's snapping. The kids they're getting in the huddle, out of the huddle. They're executing. Let's go.
Hey, I'll tell you one thing they're not doing. They're not acting like it's, 80% humidity and 110 outside. These boys are on fire right now, Ron.
Well, they're wearing their blue and gold. They're glad to be home, I bet. They're playing in front of the crowd, the parents, and they haven't been here since when? Since the Bell game of last year?
Yeah, Bell game of last year.
That's a long time, back in April.
So with the extra point good, making the score 14-0, 4:16 left in the second quarter. I'd like to say a little bit of thanks to some of our sponsors we got out there. Letterman's and Bros, have you earned your varsity letter? When you get your varsity letter started, give us a call. Make sure you call us at 760-693-5034. Ask for Dan. That's Letterman's and Bro. Hart Insurance. Saw Liz here earlier today. It's always good to see her supporting her Brawley Wildcats here. Make sure that she's insuring your local community for over 70 years. Give Liz or her staff at call at 760-344-1400. Ojeda's Industries, like to have a shout out there to Tony and Patricia. Once again, thanks for your tremendous support. We got a lot of things. We talked about it the first week. Got a lot of things. Do you remember Tony Ojeda, who used to be the president of Little League for, I'm talking many years, for years. He's got something exciting. I've been meaning to go by there, and I'm going to swing by there. He's got something really good that he's been working on for a couple of years, and I want BSN to be part of that. So, with that said, Ron will go back to the play-by-play, and we'll get back to Ojeda Industries in a little bit.
Little pooch kick by. Ooh, nice play there.
That's a clean play. That is
clean.
an absolute. But see, Ron, we talked about this at the Palm Desert game. You know, look, you're not gonna gain too much out of that. These kids need to learn that if Brawley's gonna keep doing that, listen, I might as well call fair catch here and avoid anything happening to me, because that was just a good play by the Brawley Wildcats on that hit, right? Did you get a number on that,
It was
Ron?
good. That was Tweety Corrales again. Mr.
Just an
Gilbert.
aggressive, good player.
Well, you know what? Hustle. And you have an assignment on kickoff, guys. Everybody has an assignment. Everybody on the kickoff team has a lane, however they want to coach it, but they have an assignment. When that is a called kick right there, the pooch, they want to pooch it to a certain part. And last week versus Palm Desert did that about every kickoff towards Spartans. Here we go. Cibola will find the ball at the 35. The give is to number 20. Now, I wish we could have the correct, and 20 is going to find his way to 40. Nice play. Good tackle by number 23. That is Isaiah Young from his cornerback position. But after an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, now he's going to think about number 20. Whichever number 20 it is, I'm sure we'll probably get a text. Whichever number 20 it is, he did gain 8 yards, but he paid for every one of those 8 yards right there.
Second down and two might be the best play of the offensive night for the Cibola Raiders. Number 9 checking his wristbands. They're going to have trips to the right. Little bit different formations, and I think it's due to the fact that last week they were playing with a backup quarterback. Now that they got their number 1 in, they're going back to traditional set, spreading everything out, 20 back up, trying to look for something up the right side, and he may have gained enough for a first down. Now, Will, explain to me how a referee, a flank, spots the ball on that. Where is he spotting it?
Okay, so as we look on the field right now, the person responsible to see if he makes a first down is the referee closest to us, the line judge, because he can actually see straight across to see where that tip of that ball's at. Now, what he does, as soon as he sees it's a first down, he motions over to the flank official on the where the markers are at, and he lets him know, hey, move the chains, let's go, first down. They want to make, because not only has the game gotten faster for the players, also for the referees.
Sure has. Here we go. Rolling out is Acosta. Acosta throws, attempted 4. The pass was intended for number 3, and that is
24 coming
Isaiah Ariola. And let me tell you, Gilbert Corrales is playing the best game I've seen him play in just this one quarter. 3 outstanding plays so far for Corrales, who is a cornerback, junior cornerback.
That's just
good.
Ron.
He was there. He was there, and the motto is alignment and assignment. Know where you're lining up and know what you're supposed to do. Gilbert Corrales was on the spot there. Here we go. Second down and 10. Acosta is their lot more athletic quarterback than they had last week. And not saying anything bad about the young man, Jesus Torres. However, when you have your number 1 in, there's a reason why. And here we go. He's going to go long on a wheel route. That's intended for number 6, Stoltz. Covered by, is that Mr. Corrales again? Yes, it is. Number 24, hanging back in his zone. And let me tell you something, just on film alone, Acosta has an arm. That means the offense can have more variety in it, whereas last week they were kind of limited as to what they were running, Will.
Now, as we look at Wildcat defense, you got Mario Corrales at middle linebacker. It looks to be he's a signal caller out there.
Casada's number 32. Yeah, that's Mario Casada's there, correct.
And I'll get back to my point after this play on this.
Sure. Acosta again rolling to his right. He's pressured again, and he's going to be brought down by number 72. And that is going to be Alan Carrillo. Carrillo has been coming on lately. Carrillo is an outstanding Wildcat wrestler. I'm not sure what weight division he is. I don't want to get wrong.
Heavyweight.
But this kid is all over the place. Athletic kid. Getting some playing time at the D-line, and when he's in there, he had a very good game against Valley Center.
Well, one of the things I was going to talk about, Ron, is how maybe it's just me. I haven't seen them, since that modern day game. But this Wildcat defense looks a lot quicker than we've seen in a long time. Well, to me, it's that same speed that they had at modern day.
Well, yeah, because they're a little bit faster tonight. They're quicker tonight. Oh, and a bad snap again. Stoltz able to find his way to kick it, rolls, and if Camilo can find his way, he's got an opening. Cuts back to the 45, and he's going to work his way up to the 47. As I said earlier, special teams has been a problem. It was a problem last week versus Imperial. It's reared its ugly head again for the Cibola Raiders this week.
Well, once again, we'd like to take notice that this is Cibola's second game. So even though you are going to see a little bit of mistakes, on both sides, special teams is one of the things that always gets put last when you have an early part in the season. So with that said, Ojeda Industries, your commercial industrial equipment supplier. Ojeda Industries is proud to be sponsor of Valley Sports Network. Located in Brawley. Sorry, Ron. Go ahead. Play-by-play.
I'm sorry about that. Trips to the right for Gutierrez. Gutierrez is calling out the signal. He's pointing for somebody to move. If not, looks like a backward might blitz. No, he's not. And he's going to toss it up. That's intended for Washington. Washington trying to find his way. That's going to be a pass interference, I believe, on number 21.
Yeah, and pass intended for number 5, Micaiah Washington. Now, I'm just, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you we got a 6'6" quarterback, but let me tell you, man, there's something about this kid right here, Ron, number 13 for the Wildcats. He's got that arm. He's got that arm built that he can get that ball downfield.
Sure can.
And, not only that, as we see the flags move a little bit, he was going with, I would say, about a 5-mile wind right in his face. So for him to get that ball up in the air, the wind might have caught it. It's one of those good things. Like, hey, you know what? He's either going to be wide open.
The wind is hard, right?
So,
and give credit to Washington coming back for it, fighting for the ball, and that's a hard play to defend. That's a very hard play to defend. So here we go. The Wildcats with the first down at inside the 39-yard line for the Wildcats. Gutierrez again looking. He's throwing to Young out in the flats, and great play. I asked to meet a kid who could bring down Young. I just met him. That is number 3, Isaiah Ariola. Great open field tackle. He doesn't make that tackle. It's a touchdown for Isaiah Young.
Well, with 1:30 and the clock counting down, seems to me Cibola Raiders do not have an answer yet for these Brawley Wildcat offense, Ron.
They're not. And, looking back at the Imperial tape, I think Brawley's taking a page from them. Imperial just came up to the line of scrimmage and started running plays. Again, with lots of time intended for Platt up the middle, incomplete pass. Second down, that'll bring it up a 3rd down and 6 for the Wildcats.
Now, there's something about Platt. Platt being a sophomore on the team. Of course, we know this kid's just a standout athlete. On top of everything, he's a stud. He's a CIF winner of wrestling, of course.
Correct.
This kid is going to be special, Ron. And not only that, that whole class is pretty good. Have you had a chance to see some of them up there at the JV level?
Well, the sophomore class is pretty strong. They have a good junior class, a good sophomore class. The thing that makes Platt interesting prospect is his height. He's tall. He's tall.
Yeah.
He's tall. He's strong. And that's a new thing in football now. You want kids with, the term is length. That means long arms, long legs. Here we go. They give us to Young. No, it's not. He pulls. Gutierrez being chased down by. Great hustle by number 20. And people, for Cibola, forgive me, but I have 2 number 20s out there, and I don't want to say the wrong name, but a great hustle by number 20, and alongside him, Josiah Ramos. Great tackle. Hey, when you tackle Young and Gutierrez from behind, you've done something special because these kids are quick. 4th down and 6 for the Wildcats.
Now, of course, with the 14-point lead with 44 seconds to go, the Wildcats going into the wind, it looks like they're going to have to snap this ball unless
37. They'll get a playoff.
They'll get the playoff on 4th down, and of course, with the 14-point lead, Self's going to go for it.
This is 4th down for the Wildcats. To give us to Young. Young's going to try to find his way. He's going to get the 1st down, maybe even more. No. He rolls up to the 21-yard line. 1st and 10 Wildcats. 24 seconds still left in the first quarter.
Now they'll be able to take a break after this as we count down to the last 20 seconds left to start at the end of the first quarter. Not even the clock is stopping these Wildcats, Ron. This is a different Wildcat team.
They're trying to get plays and be more productive. Like I said, the more snaps you get, the better off you are. But if you're going to walk to the line of scrimmage, walk to your huddle, walk out of the huddle, you're not going to get very many plays. And here come the Wildcats again. Gutierrez is lucky. He shrugs his way off. He's going to throw it to Platt. Platt across the middle on a drag. Not too much yardage on it, but an effective play. Why? Gutierrez bought time. Platt got open. Completed pass.
And as we go to the end of the first quarter right here, VSN will be right back after this.
Dippy Duck wants to remind everyone to stay active, play safe, and be cool this summer. Even if you don't have access to a swimming pool, there are plenty of other ways to cool off without going near canals. To play it safe, please remember Dippy Duck's rules. Never swim in a canal, never play near canals, and never jump into a canal. If you see someone fall in, get help or call 911. If something drops in accidentally, let it go. Things can always be replaced, but your life can't. Just stay away, and you'll stay alive.
Welcome back, everybody, to Warren Field, Brawley, California, where you have the visiting Cibola Raiders down 14-0 to the Brawley Wildcats, the start of the second quarter. And while we have a minute with the ball being placed on the 21-yard line, I'd like to say Graphic Industries. At Graphic Industries Incorporated, we offer a wide variety of services, including screen printing, vinyl graphics, embroidery, logo design, and promotional products. We believe that when it comes to designing, it shouldn't be picking from a past template, but creating something that one and only. All of our products are custom and designed specially for each and every client. Graphic Industries, located at 535 East Street in Brawley. You can give them a call. Give Frank a call at 760-351-9312.
Hey, can I tell him Ron sent you? Because I have a jersey there that Frank's working on. He's going to put a McCutcheon on Todd Gurley jersey. I had a number 30 Todd Gurley jersey, and I wanted McCutcheon on there since Gurley doesn't play for the Rams anymore.
Well, if you're there, if you're going to tell him that Ron sent you, go ahead and tell him that Will said hello. And you know what, Ron, I'd like to say thank you, because he is one of the many sponsors that we had that actually, just one of those good guys.
Good guy, Frank.
Yeah. Good guys, and he's one thing about Frank, when we go in there, he's one of those types of, hey, what can I do for you guys?
Exactly.
Man? Yeah.
It should be the other way around.
It should be the other way, but you have people like Frank that do it, and a lot of them.
Thank you, Frank.
Much appreciated, really do. Brownie's Diner, located at 990 Main Street in Brawley. Brownie's Diner serves up good food with a town pump menu. Come by and savor a delicious steak from Brant Beef or their famous chicken fried steak. At Brownie's Diner, you will leave satisfied. Call takeout 760-344-2938. Say hi to Holly. I always see Holly there. I mentioned her last week. Gabriel gave me a call today. Things are going good. Everything's picking up in business.
Good to hear.
I just love our local sponsors. I really do, because there's a good communication thing there with them. Enough of that. Let's get back to my play-by-play since day one. Ron Rubio.
Here we go. The Wildcats now find themselves starting the second quarter. The ball's on the 21-yard line, right hash. Wildcats kind of in a tight set. They're not too spread out. Ball's on the right hash. Isaiah Young is the lone back. Young going out to the flats, but Gutierrez has Everett. He's shooting for Mekhi Washington out there. A little bit overthrown on a corner route, incomplete.
Okay, now, Ron, tell me your opinion on this one. Could he have been getting adjusted to the wind now towards his back?
Could have. And also another thing, too, the tight set gave Mekhi Washington more room to run that corner route. And boy, it was juicy out there, kind of wide open. Like you said, the wind might have caught up to it.
Yeah, and the other difference is
that's a great point, because when you've been throwing against the wind and now your first pass is in it, it's just like a golf shot, I guess, trying to hit into the wind.
Well, let me tell you something. This is about the ugliest wind we've had, because it's so hot and humid. But still, it is a wind, on his back.
Okay, so now we have a 2nd down and 9, trips to the left. Shotgun formation for Gutierrez. Gutierrez give us to Isaiah Young up the middle. Young going to be brought down by number 54. Good hands by Derek Hernandez, middle linebacker. Now, interesting thing on the Cibola defense, now, this is the football term for it. It's called an Okie stack. They're going to run 3 down linemen, 3 backers behind them. And when they say stack, that means each linebacker is stacked behind a defensive lineman. So you really have 6 guys that are trying to throw off the offensive line. You have a guy in front of you but that guy in front of you has a guy behind you. So sometimes they do twist on you. They kind of blitzed themselves out of plays last week against Imperial, and now against the Wildcats, they kind of learned their lessons. They don't see much blitzing because they don't want to put themselves out of a play.
Well, we also see that John Self and Brandon Young have decided to slow the pace down a little bit, to read their defense a little bit more, to take time in their decision on the play calling right now.
4th down and 7. Wildcats going for it. Why not? You're deep into Cibola territory. And it looks like the Wildcats may call a timeout. I'm not too sure. Maybe a problem with the formation. With that being said, 10:54 remaining. Brawley Wildcats 14, Cibola Raiders 0.
The Dom Team Real Estate Company serves the entire Imperial Valley with a full array of services limited to not only residential but including farmland, commercial, and industrial ground. For honest and reliable real estate service, it's the Dom Team. The Dom Team. Give them a call at 760-337-8600. Havens Landscaping is located at 603 East Main Street in El Centro, specializing in gravel, rock, and stone. For all your landscaping material needs, it's Havens Landscaping. Let us know what we can do for your next project. Give us a call at 760-352-6735. Imperial Irrigation, Dippy Ducks official safety mascot, has been teaching children water safety for more than 50 years. Join with the youth from Imperial Valley. Please stay safe around all canals. Back to Ron Rubio with your play-by-play.
4th down for the Wildcats, 4th and 7. They give us to Young. Young trying to find his way to the left. Young is going to bounce it in. Touchdown, Wildcats. Nice give up the middle for Young.
So,
boom.
Tell me, now, Ron, a timeout was called. Is your thinking they saw something and they go, hey, guys, what was up with that, Ron?
I would say yes, but I also think the timeout was called because of formation, but that also buys you time, man. It buys you time because they go, you look, we lined up in that formation, they spread out a little bit, boom, they hit it. So it's a little bit of both,
Well,
we don't want to make
assumptions of what's going on, but Ron, whatever they're doing, they're doing it correct.
That's right. That's all you do, man. Hey, you guessed right. That's what football's all about. Who guessed right on that, man? It's not, you know what's going on. Defense calls a play, the offense calls a play. Whoever gets the right play is going to work.
And VSN will be right back after these commercials. Ron, welcome back, because I know these Brawley fans, and we said it earlier, there is a good crowd of Brawley fans up here. And let's give a little shout out to, we're going to have Billy Brewer as our halftime guest. This guy put a lot of effort, not only helping VSN out here, but he put a lot of effort on the 20-year anniversary here as we go back to Ron, our play-by-play guy.
Zach Stoltz received by number 3. That's Isaiah Ariola. Now, I think he fair caught that. And that's that's just good. Okay, he waved his arm. I didn't quite see that, but he must have waved his arm.
And Ron, we talk about it almost every game. Everybody seems to be doing that. They don't want to take that chance on that speech that they always put back there. Is that their thinking, or we just don't have the guys to kick it, or teams just don't have enough leg to kick it back in the end zone?
Well, for the Wildcats, on the Wildcat end, Hotto can put that ball in the end zone anytime he wants to. But he's been coming off, he's a soccer player. But this is an effective thing. This is what John Self likes to do. He loves that pooch kick. And, it's an effective plan. It's an effective way to do things on the kicking game. While you're kind of hoping maybe you can field that punt. And some teams, right now, they're catching on, they're fielding it, and he may kick it deep. Here we go. Raiders to give it to number 20. He's finding his way to 25, bounces his way to the 30, good run and maybe close to a first down. We're going to give him 11 yards on that carry. I'm looking at the flank up on top.
And one of the things we're going to notice now we give Platt a lot of credit, but listen, that time Platt got caught inside.
And that's a no-no for an outside linebacker or defensive end, whatever you want to call him. You should know, contain is contain, man.
He's got to contain that guy. And, you know, sometimes he just gets so aggressive that he wants to get in there. But, you know, I'm sure as playing that outside backer defensive end position, he knows that nobody can get outside. His job is to make sure that the running back or the quarterback, whoever it is, to make him cut back up inside.
Sir. Containment is the key. Andrew Acosta, he's looking. He's going to throw. And like I said, he throws a pretty ball. Acosta intended for number 3, Isaiah Ariola. So Acosta gives a whole different feature, an added weapon for the Cibola Raiders. Third down and short.
Is that number 3 Noah Gonzalez I see out there?
I'm not too sure if he's out there.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's a 23.
That's Isaiah Young.
Yeah,
23.
he was foot to foot running downfield.
That's a cover 3. So cover 3 means the field is divided 3 ways between the 2 corners and the safety. So each of them have deep thirds. Here we go. Acosta again. The give is to 20. I'm going to give 20 a name right now, and I'm waiting for the PA to say his name, and we can maybe catch that. So a pickup of maybe a yard, making it 3rd and 2. I really thought he had gained 11 or 10 yards on that first play. However, he did not.
But he's still got a first down right now.
Oh, he got the first down.
And that's Mario Cáceres, number 32, in for the tackle right now.
Now, Cáceres has been nagged by injuries. He pulled out of the Valley Center after the second play of the game. He had a bum shoulder. I'm not too sure if he played last week or not versus Indio, but he's back in there, so that's a good sign for the Wildcats. Mario Cáceres is the defensive caller for the Wildcats. He is a junior. They gave us back up the middle to number 20, and it was brought down by a host of Wildcats. And let's say number 37's out there. Wow, number 37, no number.
Bottom of that pile is number 6'7" coming out for the Wildcats.
That might Bernie Bustamante, maybe. Yes, Bernie Bustamante.
Bustamante on the bottom of that pile. Just big kid coming out from the middle, not stopping anything between him and number 72. That's your boy right there, Alon.
Alon.
Is it Alon?
I'm not sure, and I hope it's not Alon, but because I've been saying Allen, but
well, I'm gonna.
He goes by both names. I think Bella Revelar might know.
Is it Alon or is it Allen?
Allen. And here we go.
Okay, Bella Revelar says it's Allen, so we're gonna go with Allen. Okay.
So the Wildcats, great defensive stand right there by the Wildcats. I wish I knew who number 35 was. He's not on our roster. Do you have a 35 on that one,
That's
Will?
a negative, Ron. I don't have it on this roster. And the thing is, I thought we came up here with the roster, but shoot.
Yep. Chris Hutchings in for the game. Hutchings is a junior. He will be put out at defensive tackle. So now they're looking at a 3rd down and 9 from their own 34-yard line. Let's say 33-yard line. Trips to the right for Acosta. Acosta looking. Acosta's rolling to his left. Acosta's going to set. No, he's not. He's going to roll up to the 35. Works his way up to the 37-yard line.
Good-looking runner there. And Acosta, we got him down as a junior or as a senior?
I think he's a senior, Will. Senior, 6 foot, 185. He's not a little guy.
He looks very good-looking athlete. Now, of course, he wasn't there last week.
He was not there last week. You know,
and that's the difference, yeah.
Yeah, last week the quarterback was Jesus Torres. Sometimes he was in there. Torres took the bulk of the quarterback snaps, and then they threw in George Garcia, number 8. Garcia, very athletic. He also plays defense for the Cibola Raiders. So now, like I said, and I wish number 20. I have 2 20s. I have Isaac Rojas. And I have an Adrian Montoya. We'll get that straight for you, Cibola Raider fans, right after, as soon as we can. Here we go. Acosta, look, he swings it out to number 20. 20's going to cut back, gets loose, and he's an elusive runner. Works his way up maybe to the 39, 40-yard line. They'll spot that. Hey, but it's 4th down and 3 for the Cibola Raiders. Punting situation. Yeah. Now, like I said, special teams have been costing these guys.
Yes, and look, even though Ron, the ball is almost near midfield, they're way too far. We got a timeout on the field being called right now. I don't. Oh, it's an injured. It's an injured player right now.
Don't tell me that's Hutchings. Single-digit number,
It's a single-digit number. It's not number 4. We see him walking over here. Okay, now that's good to see right there.
That is Hutchings, number 8. That is Chris Hutchings, and let's hope, Chris, hopefully it's a cramp.
Well, whatever it is, I'd like to say that this Brawley football field tonight looks in excellent shape. I mean, I'll tell you one thing that didn't affect COVID, didn't get affected by COVID was this field. So Chaka Alcantar, Tony Leon, everybody, good job on getting this field out here in prep, excellent condition. Well, that's good to see him jog off the field. I think he was more upset that he was still laying on the ground after the play.
You know, it's funny how a cramp makes you look like you're severely injured.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, I'm almost – they make me – yeah. After I ref the game run, I would cramp in the middle of the night. Dude, I would wake everybody up, man. And that was over my legs. So, anyways, back to action with Ron Rubio, Will Torres. We are VSN.
Okay, so the Wildcats will take over. And they're in great field position, 39 yards. They've had great field position all night long. I don't think they've started any possession past inside their 30-yard line.
They haven't got past the 50 yet, Ron?
Well, they're here now. Here we go. Gutierrez looking. Gutierrez throws it right over the middle, complete to Platt. And that's a combination that I think has been working through the weeks. You know,
yes.
Platt, Gutierrez to Platt. Platt likes to find his way up the middle, and that's because of where he lines up. He's closer to the middle. He can get those routes.
Well, you know, you have a good quarterback like Ethan, and then you have an athletic wide receiver.
Yes.
And mind you, Platt's going both ways, so I got to give that credit. You know, running a post that's 20 yards deep, catching the ball, and then this quick offense that the Brawley has to get him back in there, Ron. So with 7:20 to go in the second quarter before half, you know, we're looking at a threat with the score 21-0, of course, from the Brawley Wildcats. Getting deep inside the 20-yard line of the Cibola Raiders.
Well, what Ethan Gutierrez is doing and what Platt's doing couldn't be done without Brian Porras blocking, and how about Jonathan Garcia? And I believe that's Pittman. Don't tell me that's Pittman that just jumped off sides. Well, number 75 just jumped outside for the illegal procedure. Tony Arriaga's the right tackle. And these linemen, they've been, you know, shifting people in and out. They had kind of an injury bug hit him at Valley Center, but the Wildcats now kind of getting back, getting a little bit healthier. Trying to figure out who the other tackle is. That might be number 77. It's Levangelist Pittman. Levangelist Pittman, a senior. Good kid, getting out there. Looks like he's playing guard this week. Gutierrez looking to his right. Gutierrez, plenty of time. Gutierrez to the corner. It's a jump ball, a little bit too high for Platt. Incomplete. That'll make what, 2nd down and 5?
2nd down and 5 to go. Good play. I thought it was a good call. Little cover down there, you know.
Hey, and checking that play live, that was a long ball, Will.
No,
from that hash to that corner end zone.
He's getting that ball out really quick, Ron.
This is the best he's looked this year, I think.
He is looking really good. And not only that, I think that whole Wildcat on offense and defense are looking good.
Well, you know, Will, a point you've been making is the how would you say?
Crisp.
The crispness of the Wildcats, getting in and out of the huddle, whereas in the last couple of weeks, it looks like they were walking in and out of the huddle. Now things, like I said, more pep in their step. Here we go. Double receivers to the right. Gutierrez again looking. Gutierrez with plenty of time. He's going to throw, and him knocked down by number 11. Kind of a lazy throw. Good play by Freddie Hernandez. Knocked down by Freddie Hernandez.
Well, it looked like 11. Ethan was trying to finesse that pass, trying to just put it in between the seam right there. But I'll tell you what, he was lucky that, I mean, if that guy number 21 hadn't been there, it looked like it would have been a catch. But still.
You know what's cool when you see a kid, a quarterback, well, any quarterback at any level, but like at the high school level, like last week, I'm not too sure, I can't remember the kid's name from Palm Desert, but when they're in control, when they have a rhythm going, it's like artwork. Like right now, you could tell Ethan Gutierrez is feeling really comfortable with the time he's getting back there to throw the ball. And while there was a holding on the Wildcats, it's going to put the ball back all the way back to the Cibola Raider 28-yard line, making it a 2nd down and
I apologize for missing that, but the way this offense is moving for the Brawley Wildcats, it might have helped them to have a little bit more space underneath them.
Very good point. Now you can throw the ball more into the end zone. Gutierrez is looking deep out, complete to number 4. Nice play. That's Boras, the freshman, all the way to the 12. That is Brandon Porras. And I'm going to tell you something. Brandon Porras is a kid with good hands. He's
Freshman. You're telling me this kid's a freshman.
Well, there was a kid from Central last week, Jake Garcia, I believe, Bubba Garcia, number 3.
Exactly, yes.
And so, you know, right now, this is, you know,
we're seeing it more often.
Now because, you know, some kids not coming out. So you're going to see a lot of programs with talented freshmen or potential. Let's put talent/potential on these freshmen, and they come through with praise like this.
Well, now, if you're Yuma, if you're the Cibola Raider team, Ron, they're actually, Ethan Gutierrez is picking them with different receivers every time out of the backfield, running a cross pattern or running a post or, you know, in that corner route. Ethan Gutierrez is just picking them apart. He's picking that defensive backfield apart.
Look for a corner this way because there it is, wide open, and it's just a little bit overthrown. And boy, that formation right there could tell you, hey, man, they're shooting for that corner over there. Incomplete pass intended for Mekhi Washington.
And Ethan knew it. Ethan knew it.
Just a little bit, as Chick Kern would say, a little bit too much mustard on the hot dog.
Well, listen, look, Brandon went straight to him, and he goes, look, and we need to adjust. Another thing, Ron, I've noticed, Ethan is getting no pressure. He's getting no pressure.
See, in the passing game, yeah, you can have an outstanding quarterback like Gutierrez, but if you don't give the kid time, hey, he's going to look below average, man. All that pressure coming at him. So now, like as I said, Jonathan Garcia, Brandon Porras, or Brian Porras, I'm sorry.
4th down. Brawley has faced this 4th down a couple other times with 5:37 to go till half.
Julius Diaz out there at right tackle. Isaiah Young is deep. Last time on 4th down, they gave it to Young up the middle. What do you think?
Well, it's 4th and a long 4 or 5 yards to go.
And no, Gutierrez is looking. He's looking. He's going to throw slingshots and touchdown, Mekhi Washington. Love it. I mean, like I said, I think Gutierrez is settling into some kind of rhythm. He's fighting himself. You can see how he's just really cool back there, just pumping his arms, slings it, touchdown Wildcats.
Ron, that's what a leader does.
Yes.
You know, Ethan Gutierrez is leading this football team on the offensive side. On the defensive side, you have some youngsters on there. But look, right now, with the score 27-0 with 5:32 to go in the half, Ron, these Brawley Wildcats on the offensive side are looking really good.
Really good. And, you know, sad to say, Cibolas find themselves in a position they were in the same thing last week. Well, here we go. 5:32 remaining in the second quarter. We have the Brawley Wildcats 27, Cibola Raiders 0.
Well, with the Wildcats making very few mistakes, 28-0. I mean, even the extra points, everything's looking good. The offensive line is giving Gutierrez enough time to throw. The wide receivers are running great patterns.
They're catching the ball. They're not dropping.
Yeah, they're not dropping them. You know, when they're over. And then, look, this is the other thing, Ron. The confidence that Coach Self and coaching staff has right now. They've gone for it on 4th down 3 or 4 times.
Hey, you know, the thing is, too, sometimes what coaches want to do, Will, they're practicing situational football. What am I going to do 4th down and something against a big, down the road and lead?
Yeah.
You know, you got to think that way.
Do we have a score right now from the Imperial game? 14-0 Valley Center.
Valley Center,
Whoa.
Valley Center, I'm going to tell you, I really thought Brawley was going to take Valley Center. In all reality, the Brawley should have taken them. But they just had a good game plan on defense. You know, they neutralized what the Brawley's running game, and who knows what they're doing in Imperial, but I'm pretty sure Vic and John will tell you what's going on.
Yeah, but to see a Brawley team like this improve week after week, Ron, that's a very good sign. John wants to see this.
It's a great sign because you took your lumps 3 weeks in a row, man. 3 weeks in a row, you were down and out. Here's Stoltz again. Stoltz drops it. He's at the 10. And he's going to be brought down by who?
Number
Tweety
24.
Corrales. I'm going to say Gilbert Tweety Gonzalez playing a very good game. Tweety on special teams had a knockdown pass, defended a pass. We find Cibola now at their 15-yard line. So look.
And that's just what the Wildcats want to do.
Day and night. Look at the field position Cibola's been starting on. Look. Ryan Reblar in the booth.
Ryan Reblar in the
AYF
booth.
president, and, scared us a little bit. Now he's gone.
He must have some checks to sign up here or something.
You owe somebody some money, I guess. Here we go.
Well, Fred Metamontes, your undersheriff for Imperial Valley. Fred Metamontes wants to remind you that you can start your own neighborhood watch program in your area. call the Sheriff's Department, the Crime Prevention Unit. They will assist you and meet with you and your neighbors at 442-265-2000 for more information.
We got a shifty number 20. 20's running the ball up the middle, and a good run by number 20. And I'm going to tell you, Rios, that's the man, Rios. I just called his name, so Isaac Rios. Like I said, we have two 20s on there, but hey, number 20, Isaac Rios, been running the ball very good. Kind of reminiscent of the kid we saw last week, Johnny Ho. Remember that kid?
Oh,
Johnny
God,
Ho
that
was
kid,
man, not very
God.
big.
Just smart runner,
Smart
finesse
runner,
runner.
Cut everywhere, found his blocks, used it.
He knew how to read right behind his
Exactly.
lineman.
The give is back to Rios. Rios trying the right side for little or no gain on that time. Brought down by a host of Wildcats. And I like number 67, Bernie Bustamante, coming up the bottom of that pile. Bernie, Big Bernie, as they call him here in the Wildcat land. Second down and 10. Wildcats are looking pretty sound on defense right now. This is something John Self wants to see. This is what he demands. When things are going right, you have to keep it right.
You know what's going to be good? John Self's going to be in a good mood, man. I mean, and everybody's going to be happy when John Self is in a good mood.
Don't say that too loud. Come on, man. Here we go. Rios again. Rios trying the middle. Rios doesn't find too much on that. We're going to give him maybe 4 yards on. Let's give him 3 yards, making it a 3rd and 6 for Cibola Raiders.
So the interesting thing that we talked about, Ron, was that we're going to, with Brawley having lost to Valley Center,
Yes.
and now they're leading the Imperial Tigers right there. Is that the telltale sign? Well, we're going to leave that up to people to decide.
Well, it's a tough thing, traveling as you do. If a Valley team goes to San Diego, it does well. If a San Diego team comes to the Valley and does well, especially
this weather, yes.
That's it's a feather in your cap. Here we go. So Acosta was rolling to his right. Everything was covered. Tried to roll back, and like I said, the pressure by the Wildcat defense looked like Bernie Bustamante kind of rattled his cage a little bit. Hey, needless to say, 4th down, 4th and 10 for the Cibola Raiders.
3:20 to go in the halftime, and the Cibola Raiders have not had an answer for this Brawley Wildcat offense. And not only that, Ron, making it 4th and 10, 4th. I mean, definitely going to have to punt to get them out of this area. You're going to give the Wildcats one more possession. What they do with it is going to be up to the Cibola Raider team.
And like I said, from last week to this week, special teams has, and okay, look at this, 4th and 10. I'm going to say there's going to be quick kick, and sure enough, that's what it is.
Just get away
from it. Snap it to the center, and just give it to number 6 Stoltz, and that's it.
Heck, he's going to pick it up. That's Young.
That's Young. He'll take it. And, hey, I agree with it. 20, 10, touchdown, Isaiah Young. I know that he's probably going to get reprimanded for doing that. And I'm not going to say it, but I don't think John Self wanted that to happen.
Ron, very few times have I seen any team, and look, there's a whole nother half to go. With 2:36 to go, there's a whole nother half to go. I get that. But to see a team clicking on all cylinders, Ron, it's good to see. It's good to see a team, physically, mentally, and everything else just come together like that.
Well, not only is it special teams and offense clicking in defense, I just saw John Self gun a pass with a tight spiral, and he almost knocked the kid over getting the ball. Way to go, John.
He's got his energy built up. And I'll tell you what, he's not going to put his foot off the pedal.
Jorge Haro knocks it through right down the middle. So with 2:36 remaining in the second quarter, we have the Brawley Wildcats 34, Cibola Raiders 0.
And with that said, VSN will be right back from a word for our sponsors. welcome back, everybody, as we have a score here. 34, Brawley Wildcats 0, the visiting Cibola Raiders. Interesting note, Ron, in Imperial, where we got VSN, Vic Carrillo and John Moran over there. At halftime right now, the score is 14-0. And on another special note, at halftime guest is going to be Billy Brewer, athletic director. And not only is he an athletic director, the guys that do it all down here. I've been dealing with him, these last couple of years. And listen, if you want to be dealing with people, that's one of the guys. This guy wears many hats out here. So we'll have Billy Brewer at halftime out here as we get ready to see the Cibola Raiders kick off, receive the ball from these Wildcats.
Number 6, Zach Stoltz back there. As I said, Stoltz are going to kick it away from him. Why? He had 90-yard touchdown last week, number 35. And I'm going to guarantee we do not have a number for number 35. Do you have a number for 35? No, we do not. So, short kick, not deep. Wildcats defend it well inside the 30-yard line. We'll say that's where the Cibola Raiders will start at their 27-yard line.
And you got to give these Yuma teams a little bit of credit, Ron. Now, I realize taking on Imperial last week was their first game, where Imperial had, if you count the scrimmage, they've already had 3 games. Well, actually not 3 because they had to bye their first week. But then now they're taking up Brawley, which, on their 4th game. So I guess you could always use that as an excuse, but not 34-0 right before half, where you see Brawley clicking on all cylinders.
I know they scrimmaged the Yuma Criminals. There was film I saw on that. And, you're still trying to find your personnel. Like I said, they had a hiccup last week. They didn't. So when you had a unit out there that's really not your first unit, now your unit's out here. This is their first game, and here goes Rios! Rios cuts back to the 50, brought down by Young, all the way to the Wildcat 45-yard line. And that's what I mean. Rios was not there last week. Acosta was not there last week. The line was the same offensive line. I got number 80 out there, the tight end. That's a huge tight end, Alonzo Quintero. However, all the other kids were there. But when you have your kids, your stars back, or your starters, everybody's playing a lot better right now. So first attempt for the Cibola Raiders. Raiders find themselves. Here gives the Rios. Rios again, dodging away to 40, cuts back. He's going to fall forward, and he's going to get a 13-yard gain. Another good run by Rios. Rios patient. And not a very big guy to be patient. However, uses his blocks very well to weave his way for a first down for the Raiders. 1:59 remaining.
1:59 remaining now. The last thing the Wildcats need is for Cibola Raiders to find out something on this Brawley Wildcat defense that they can capitalize on.
Well, you still have Carrillo in there. Alan Carrillo, 72. You still have the big beef. You have Tony Arriaga in there. The other tackle looks like Chris Hutchings, and there's a slip. The give to Rios, slips and gives by Tony Arriaga. It looks like Arriaga. And Rios, like I said, he's not a very big kid. Each hit takes, but he's a tough kid, gets right back up. 2 good runs in a row. Gas, tired. The humidity does wear on you. He's going to get a breather. In comes Stoltz. No, they will keep Rios back in there.
Well, one thing we're not seeing the Cibola Raiders in a hurry, that's for sure, Ron.
No, 1:12 remaining and ticking. They just want to keep the ball out of the Brawley Wildcats' hands, man. Every time Brawley has the ball, they're having success through the air and on the ground. Acosta looking at constant clock, little bit overthrown, intended for number 80, Alonzo Quintero. Now, Quintero is a tall kid. Quintero, I don't have his height, but if you watch film on him, he stands out. He looks like a little power forward for a basketball team.
Now,
incomplete pass.
As we look at 3rd and 12 right now, the last thing these Cibola Raiders want to do is have to punt that ball and give it back to the Brawley Wildcats.
So 2 plays to maybe get a first down, Will, or maybe get these 57 seconds off the clock and go into the locker room and recoup.
Listen, we had a play. It was a quick kick. That's what I would do right now. Well, that little quick pitch.
If number 6 is in there, believe me, they'll do it. And instead, we have number 8 back there, George Garcia. Let me tell you something. Last week, George Garcia played Wildcat quarterback. He ran the ball 8 plays in a row versus Imperial from the quarterback spot. Acosta being chased. Acosta looking. Acosta's going to break through. Bowls his way over. Brought down by Platt and number 31, Castillo, but not after he gains a good amount of yards.
44 seconds to go.
And I believe they called a timeout. I do believe there was a timeout.
So with 4th down to go, Ronnie, this is one of the decisions Cibola can – this is going to be – look, it's not going to be a game changer. Look, Brawley Wildcats, Coach Self, I'm sure still knows that he's in control. But look, the last thing he wants to see is Cibola Raider score on him right before halftime.
For sure, for sure. You
So
want to keep that down.
So while we have a minute here, I'd like to say hello and a big thank you to our sponsors. Burgers and Beer. For the best burgers in town, it's Burgers and Beers. Located at 260 North Imperial Avenue in El Centro. Open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Burgers and Beer is the place to watch VSN game on Friday nights. Great food, great service. That's Burgers and Beer. Tonight's game is brought to you by IV Welding and Mechanical Industrial Welding Contractor. For all your heavy metal needs, IV Welding incorporates welding techniques to build high-quality systems that exceed clients' expectations. Call Fred Baeza at 760-482-9353. Thank you very much, IV Welding Mechanical in El Centro. Top-notch barber. Listen, this kid's playing, I know.
Jeremiah Naylor, 23.
Jeremiah Naylor, number 3,
Go
down there in
Tigers.
Imperial. Big Chris right down there, watching down there at the game. Got all 10, 12 TVs at the barber shop watching both games. Make sure you go down there and visit Top-Notch Barber and say hello to Big Chris for us.
And say hi to Mama Amanda working her way at El Centro Regional. Here we go. The give is to number 8.
And
That
that's
is George Garcia. That should take us down, or
with 40
Wildcats
seconds to
will get
go.
the ball.
I'm telling you, I'm not sure what Self is going to do right here. I know he's very comfortable with this 34-point lead. I believe he will take a knee. He actually needs and wants more playing time. I'm sure he doesn't want a running clock right now.
You know what? I would like to see Gutierrez just rear back and throw the ball. Like, why not?
Speaking like a coach.
The kid's got a rhythm right now, and probably won't play in the second half. Let's see what he could do right now.
As we see the Wildcats moving around a little bit, not sure where to go. And they're going with doubles on each side,
We're
Coach.
going 9.99. Here we go. Quick out to Daniel Camilo. Camilo with the reception. Camilo works his way up. He's going to be short of a first down, maybe by half a yard. Wildcats will hurry up. I'm not too sure how many timeouts the Wildcats have.
They're
Wildcats
showing
have
3,
2.
and this will be a timeout taken.
Good. You work. As I said, it's situational football. You're going to find yourself in this situation, maybe not up 34-0. Say you're down by a touchdown going into halftime. You have to work whatever your offense gives you right now.
And while we have a little bit of time right now, I'd like to thank Jalen Fong. A lot of the editorials are done by Jalen. We appreciate his work every time. Jalen Fong is one of the hardest working guys down here at VSN, so we truly, really appreciate everything he does. He's the guy that comes with all our stats. Much appreciated, Jalen. And as we give you a little bit of scores, Valley Center 14, Imperial 0, Central 28, Ron, listen to this score. Central 28, Vista 14.
I didn't see that coming.
Calexico 7, Yuma 0. We have some interesting scores coming in right now.
Where's that Central game at?
That's at Vista.
What's the quarter, halftime? What was it?
I didn't have that. We'll have some more information at
Wow,
halftime.
28-14. Central bouncing back. Good job, Spartans. Here we go. 2nd down and 1. Gutierrez looking. Gutierrez with time. Rolling to his left. He's going to launch it. And we're going to get a holding call. Wide open. Makai Washington, or is that Camilo? Daniel Camilo. But we're going to call that back.
And we're going to have a holding against the Wildcats. Ron, I got to say I'm a little surprised. Self and Coach Brandon. Brandon, I rarely see him upset. He didn't like that. He wanted that play. He wanted it.
Well, these are the building blocks of success. Sure, it's a runaway score right now. Wildcats are just doing what their defense is giving them. This is a situation, like I said, I'm pretty sure Young, I can't read his mind, but this is something they need to work on for down the road. These are the situations you'll find yourself in. 40 seconds remaining. Hey, let's get some points on the board. Wildcats find themselves backed up now to their 22-yard line. This must be the worst field position they ever had all night long. And capitalized on great field position all night, and here they are. trying to work their way up to a first down, second down, and 17. For Gutierrez with three receivers to his right. He's going to gun it, and he's looking for Washington. He's getting rushed. That's number 71. Good play by number 71. And I do not have a number 71. He got a good game last week versus the Imperial Tigers.
With 13 seconds to go, the clock has stopped. It looks like the Wildcats might have called another timeout right now.
Sure, why not?
No, they're. I mean, 13 seconds.
You can't take these timeouts with you.
Nope, they don't carry you over for the second half.
They have 2 left.
That might be incorrect. We're going to have to double check that. Johnny's Burritos, family owned and operated, serving the Imperial Valley for over 60 years. Now, people like me, I still remember Johnny when he was across the street where that parking lot is. Remember they had that corner store?
Sure do. It was a pink little store with, I think it was their backyard, basically.
I mean, that's how old I am. Telling my age, I'm 57 years old, but I can still picture Johnny in that green apron all the time, working.
And you know what the funny thing is? I always remember, other than the food, a strawberry soda out of the fountain.
What about the suicides that used to come out of there, man?
Wow.
We're getting off subject, but, you know.
I'm getting hungry and thirsty, to be honest with you.
Just brings back memories. You know, every time I go around, cruising around Brawley, I reminisce a little
Nostalgia.
bit there, Ron.
Here we go. Wildcats now find themselves with third down. 20 yards to go, the scoreboard says. The Wildcats, what will they do? 3rd and 20. 13 seconds. It'll be 4th down. Do you want to punt? Are they going to give it to Young and see if he takes it all the way? Gutierrez is looking. Gutierrez has time. He's being flushed again. He's rolling. Is he going to run? Yes, he's going to run. 30. It cuts back to the 40. 45. And he's going to be brought down by number 30. Great hustle by number 30. And time runs out. Josiah Ramos, great tackle. Little bit of a skirmish. And Makai Washington on the ground. Not sure what happened there.
Now,
so that's going to end. That ends. There's no penalties.
No,
halftime.
They might have thought a little fumble there, a scrimmage going. And with the score and the Brawley Wildcats showing. Look, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. They might have made 2 mistakes on penalties, and that's about it. So VSN, Will Torres, Ron Rubio will be right back after our word from our sponsors. Okay, you're staying here, Ron, because there'll be 3 of us on the line.
Whippy Duck wants to remind everyone to stay active, play safe, and be cool this summer. Even if you don't have access to a swimming pool, there are plenty of other ways to cool off without going near canals. To play it safe, please remember Dippy Duck's rules. Never swim in a canal, never play near canals, and never jump into a canal. If you see someone fall in, get help or call 911. If something drops in accidentally, let it go. Things can always be replaced, but your life can't. Just stay away, and you'll stay alive.
Welcome back, everybody, at halftime as we have the Wildcats leading 34-0. With me to join Ron Rubio and I is Billy Brewer, AD for Brawley. How many years now you've been down here, Billy?
26, I believe.
26 years. And one of the things we want to talk about with Billy, first of all, when you're here 26 years, you've been doing something good here, Billy, so much appreciated for that. Special night. I mean, Brawley, Union High School, you, Simon, and Jesse, have always done something when it comes to 9/11. This being the 20th year, talk about what Brawley Union High School did tonight.
Well, we wanted to, sorry about my voice, it's been a long day, but we wanted to honor the 13 fallen soldiers. And the other side of that is we wanted to make sure we honored 9/11 again. If you guys remember, we honored first responders back in the Bell game in April. And so we didn't go all out in that, but we made sure everybody knew that tonight. But really what was on our heart tonight, or this week, has been the 13 fallen soldiers from Afghanistan, men and women, and who give everything for us. And it's hard for me not to get emotional even talking about it. But the bottom line is we wanted to make sure. So we have 13 reserve seats down there with the pitchers, their rank and their military unit, and then we have a Brawley logo on there.
Nice.
And again, we just want to show our appreciation for people that give us this right to play football on a Friday night.
For sure.
Now, and like I was saying earlier, Billy, this is something you do every year, not just because it's the 20th. You've been doing this every year, regardless of what day it falls on. During that week, Brawley always does that. Is that correct?
That's correct. We do it every other year. We usually have this game here somewhere on that weekend. And, we appreciate Cibola getting involved. And it's just nice that everybody has the same thought and they think the same way. It was great to see the kids run out with 13 flags. It's kind of breathtaking a little bit to watch that. You never know what's going to happen with a kid, to be totally honest with you. But we practiced for about, Ronnie, last night, 5 minutes. But the bottom line is those kids did great, and more importantly, they had the honor of carrying it. Those kids were fighting over who's going to carry flags out, and that just shows you
Nice.
the importance. Shows you the importance. Yes, we want to come out and win a football game, of course, and they're playing hard and they're playing well, But tonight we wanted to make sure. I don't know what everybody does, but we wanted to make sure that we didn't let this night go by without doing something, and that's the bottom line.
Well, another thing I want to talk about is something that's not going to go away. Look, I'm sure it's going to go away. I just don't know when. But you, like every other school, have done a lot of changes when it comes to COVID-19. There's a lot of stuff going on, Explain to that some of the things that's going on that's really changed over these last year and a half, Billy.
I think what's really compounding the issue right now with, as you know, Cibola's a prime example. Last week they had 7 or 9 kids out, top kids. They have them back tonight. And it wasn't kids that actually had COVID. It's kids that were so-called exposed, but they were within 6 feet of whoever had COVID for more than 15 minutes straight. They can also be out, even if they test negative, they can also be out for 10 days. And we have had that dilemma too, as you know, had a couple kids out last week and Ronnie was there. And so it's not so many kids have had COVID at Brawley High School. The problem is the few that have had it are sitting in the vicinity of kids. Within that 6 feet thing.
That close contact, is it that close contact, Billy?
Close contact, and it's that 6 foot rule. And, that the city and our county is coming down very hard on it. Again, we dealt with it last year. The health department has tried to stay out of it, but now, as you know, rates are going up and rising. And, it's just they're trying to do the best they can do, and we get it. We all want to be safe. To knock some kids out, I don't enjoy that because we want kids to be out there. They've already put up with enough. At the same time, we want kids to be safe. We want everybody to be safe and make it home at the night and do well and be able to come back on the next Friday night. So that's the bottom line to us.
Yeah, and on that note, Billy, I do got to applaud you. The cases that you've had in Brawley, they've been very low. So obviously you're doing your job. Everybody's coming together doing their job. And while we talk about that, tell us a little bit about the other sports. You got volleyball going on. You got a little bit of cross country. How are those sports going on for the Brawley Union High School?
Let me tell you this, Will. Let me just pitch in there one time and say, it's those coaches that are doing well more than I sit in an office for the most part. And, I come out there, of course, in and out and just checking on things. But if it wasn't for these coaches, day in and day out of all sports, trying to, I don't want to say COVID cop, but, they're always, mask up. Obviously, when you're outdoors, you don't have to wear a mask. But as of right now, that could change. But I'm talking as of tonight. If you're indoors, regardless if you're playing or not, you have to wear a mask from now on. That was not to that level last year. So we have different stuff that's hitting us. You talked about we can use the locker rooms, but we have to have somebody in there at all times. We have to limit the people that go in there.
So it's like only 6 people can go shower at the same time. So that's what makes it hard. So you know what? It's better just send everybody home after that.
Well, and what happens, doubleheader tonight, we had to go in there and get in that locker room and that classroom before Cibola varsity showed up. Again, we're going to do whatever we have to do to make sure these kids get to play. And it doesn't matter. Ronnie can tell you we've had forfeits We've had bus strikes. I mean, I'm not talking about a Brawley High School, people we played. Everything you can imagine. We had to rearrange some games next week, but the bottom line is we're going to do what it takes to get it done and get them to play.
Well, look how it's affected modern day. Brawley was lucky to play him before they had the kid. They've been out for 3 weeks. Now, Ron and I personally believe that those games, that Scripps Ranch, that practice, that modern day, the Valley Center has made the Brawley Wildcats what they're looking like right now, the team they are right now, Billy.
Well, that was the plan. Obviously, that was the plan. The whole thing to us is we don't mind playing in. Ron could tell you this. We don't mind playing anybody. It's not a question of who. I can tell you right off the bat, we needed a game. Modern day, nobody would play them. We played them, you know.
That's
and the bottom line to us is we want to compete. I mean, Imperial's a perfect example. They were 0-4 here a couple years ago under Coach Laguerra, but they had played a very tough preseason. They came back and won our league. And the bottom line is, it's injuries. We just got to stay away from injuries. We're also thin. Modern day banged us up. We paid a little bit of a price in Valley Center, to be totally honest with you. Still should have won that game, but it's over at this point. But no, we look to get on a run. We did last week, but we're playing we're going to be playing some good teams, and we want to make sure to be consistent. Key words, we want to play good ball.
Yeah, no, I like I said earlier, I totally agree with that. Of course, Brawley's not as they don't have the depth like they're used to having all the time. But on the same token, those numbers are improving from your freshman level to the JV level.
Oh, yes, and you got freshman kids playing out there tonight. You had them last week playing even more. And so it's been a different 2 years, obviously, the last 2 years, and you could say any school in the Valley is that way. It's not just Brawley High School. But again, we're just trying to make sure kids get to play. I mean, our priority this year, our priority is always going to be football. But our priority this year was to make sure volleyball got to play.
Yeah, indoors, being the indoors.
And to jump on what Billy just said on freshman kids playing, and I told Will before, it's the programs and the schools that are handling the COVID the best they can are the ones that are going to rise to the top, because you can fall apart. There's historic, great, traditional teams not having. I mean, when was the last time you would think Valley Center couldn't field a freshman and a JV?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. You know, and kudos to Billy and the administration. We have our 3 divisions right now, and we're solid. I mean, Brawley's solid right now. So that's the work. It's a lot of work, and you know, it's a lot of things going on that a lot of people may not like. But hey, we have to find a way to come together. And that's what's been going on here.
Well, and you have bus strikes all over the place, from Arizona to California, and so getting these kids here is not that easy anymore. We had an issue. It wasn't a bus strike, but shortage of bus drivers from Southwest, who was supposed to play a couple nights ago, Wednesday night.
Right.
We got the game in today at 4:30, but that's because they finally had a bus driver. So it's saying that, and when does that ever happen?
Right. I mean,
No, on top of COVID, there's a bus strike. You know, just what you needed, and you know,
And Southwest doesn't have a bus strike, but they have a shortage of bus drivers because they're in the same boat as Brawley High School. Somebody has COVID and you're exposed to it. You don't have it. You've tested negative 2 or 3 times, but you're still out for 10 days. And that makes a difference. It makes a difference.
yeah, I mean, Billy, I mean that's a whole nother subject right there. I mean,
I told you at the school, that's all they do. It's like they deal with COVID. Simon, Jennifer Laya, Jennifer Alvarez, HR department, Tony Leon. That's all they do all day long, is trying to just confine whatever spots we might find when it comes to COVID, and who was around to not take down a team. So let me just tell you this, you guys might know this, but if you have 3 or more cases on a team, it's called an outbreak. You're out for 14 days. Everybody.
I did not know
3
that.
cases, it's not that many.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry,
not.
but it's not that many.
I know
So-
that seems like kind of low. I'm kind of happy for that, but
And I'll tell you another thing, since we're playing Cibola tonight. Cibola has a no mask rule as you, and again, not taken one way or another.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to wear a mask inside, and that's the way it is. But they go beyond the 14 days. They can go all the way up to 21 days, be knocked out. So, I mean, you got different levels of different stuff. We're just trying to make sure these kids can participate the best we can. And I'm telling you, it's a battle. It's a battle just trying to make sure everybody can get here. Officiating's been tough this year because, and kudos to Alan Phillips and those guys, because, I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy. You got these older guys that have done it, and they do it day in. They got games tomorrow night loaded. And on Saturday with Pop Warner, they all do everything.
Yes.
And then some of them have been going Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, and then Saturdays, just trying to get games on. We usually have 2 fields on a Saturday playing Pop Warner. We can only go to 1 field tomorrow because officials can only
field one field.
So it's affecting everybody. It's not just Brawley High School. It's straight across the board.
Nah, you know, Ron's right, man. Kudos to when the people out there, I just want people to realize, like, the things that every athlete went through, like the fun part about, when you went, you go shower after the game. The kids aren't doing that anymore. Those are the things. And I make it seem like a big deal, but it's not. I mean, you had some kids that hadn't even taken a bus ride out of town on the Brawley team that never been on a bus together, So those are the kind of things that kind of we take for granted. But
I'll tell you one thing, Will and Ronnie, tonight it's been a chore dealing with kids. I've been down here dealing with kids all night. You got to remember, these kids have been cooped up for 18, 20 months. And they're letting loose tonight. And there's a part of me, maybe a little too much. There's a couple of words that I wish wouldn't fall out. But, sometimes it is, especially when I can hear it, I go take care of it. But, there's another side of that, man, they have some freedom tonight, and they're being able to, because, we're not spiking in the right way. And who knows how long all of this lasts. I'm not going to start, who knows. I don't know the answer to that.
Week by week type of deal,
it's
man.
It's a week by week thing, but we're going to try to do our best. We didn't have any cases last year at Brawley High School in the athletic department. We have had a couple this year. We're trying to do the best we can do to limit it, and that's parents, that's kids, but at the end of the day, it's kids and coaches. It's not Billy. So, anyways, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys letting me come up here. I'm excited about. We got cross country starting, as you guys know. We started cross country. We got volleyball. They're undefeated. Other than in tournament play, they're doing well. So we're excited. We got girls golf going, and we got girls tennis going, and they're all doing well. So I'm just glad to have kids back. We have our full sports. Yeah. We have all 21 sports slated at this point to be able to go, and that's, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing to me.
And I want to thank you in regards to us being up here and accommodating us. You've made some changes to this booth, Billy. It is so much appreciated because what it does, it actually gives our viewing audience a better all-around picture, including BUHS, including VSN, and including our audience. So much appreciation. You've been working on this for a while. You have some things going on, and then you kind of adapted. So much, like I said, we're very appreciative of that.
I appreciate it. We're just so you know, we're trying to put AC in here next year.
Well, Billy, we're going to keep inviting you until you do put AC up here, okay?
We're going to do that, and we're remodeling some of this inside. As you know, we got internet and other things hooked up, but we want to make sure this is the nicest press box you guys go to.
I appreciate that.
San Diego County or Imperial County. I really don't care who it is.
Well, I'll tell you what, whenever you take care of something, you always want to be the biggest and best. And you know what, guys? They got a taco cart down here with clamatos preparados. Can you believe that?
Taco carts, and they are overflowing. The people, I'm going to have to bring 3 in next week. I wanted to make sure they all made money, but it's off the charts out there. Good. Yeah.
So Billy Brewer, man, athletic director, 26 years, much appreciated from VSN. Thank you for being our guest up here at halftime. Always great talking to you, Billy.
Appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. You guys are my favorite. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. VSN will be right back after this.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh. Welcome back, everybody, and we appreciate having Billy Brewer here at halftime. Just to give you an example of some of the things that have been going on. Ron, I'll take one. Some of the things that have been going on with the COVID, the things that athletic directors, every coach on the field have to do. So, I mean, it's every week. Here we go with Brawley kicking the ball. Short kick once, and he's calling a fair catch. And that's why Ronnie is our play-by-play guy.
Had to step into the backpack and bring out a chloroseptic for the throat here. Here we go. Cibola will find themselves at the 30-yard line. Wildcats, as we said, leading 34-0 to start the third quarter. Now the Wildcats, as we mentioned the whole half, they were hitting on all cylinders. They had everything going for them. There was a few negative plays, maybe the fumble snap. That was about the only thing. A holding on a big completion pass. These are the kinks that the Wildcats were working out from day one when they battled Scripps Ranch, when they went up against Modern Day.
Well, one of the things that Ronnie spoke about, and you also had mentioned earlier, that they're not going to back down from these tough teams. And this is what I believe made Brawley stronger. Look at Platt coming in from his defensive outside linebacker position.
Platt, Bernie Bustamante on the bottom of that pile. Bernie, you look and see, and you try to see. You never see a big guy because they gobble him up, and they usually bring him back down on top of them. because there's not much room from that defensive line to the offensive line. There's not much room to be standing out. Bernie Bustamante, however, making some big tackles tonight. Way to go, Bernie. Second down and 9 for the Cibola Raiders. Acosta, that's Andre Acosta. He's the number 9 quarterback. As we said, he did not play last week. And as Billy Brewer pointed out, Cibola went through, they've gone through what most high schools do not want to go. Here comes Rios. Rios trying to fight way outside, and he's not going to find anything. Flag comes flying in, and I'm going to go on the record. If we could text somebody, I think number 35 may be Matthew Gutierrez, a freshman who's come up. I know that a Matthew Moreno is also on the Brawley roster, freshman.
So he stayed up from last week, the Moreno boys?
Moreno and a Gutierrez kid. So I'm saying 35 could be. That's why we do not have him on the roster that we have. So if anybody over there can text Will or I and let us know if number 35 is Matthew Gutierrez. And who is Moreno?
We have a personal foul face mask. Ron, I do want to take a timeout right now, and this is one of the things I want to mention. Ron and I and the whole VSN crew want to say congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. J.J. Galvan.
Oh, J.J. Galvan, yes.
Yes, they got married tonight, and so
Acosta! And thanks to J.J. Galvan and Stella, there's a touchdown there for the Cibola Raiders. Nice!
That is what the senior leadership from the Cibola can do.
And that was Isaiah Ariola, and like I said, Acosta has an arm. And he did not, I'm not sure who was in there, but I see Isaiah Young out there, so that's a corner on one side, and that's also Tweety Corrales, so I'm not sure what side they scored on. Hey, nice pitch and catch right there. Touchdown for Cibola, so the scorer, Cibola gets 6 points on the board with 10:51 remaining in the third quarter, so it only took less than 2 minutes, Will.
Yeah, and another thing is good for the Cibola Raider team. I mean, they need to make some of the positive things come out of this game for that program right there.
Well, last week their 2 touchdowns. One was a 90-yard touchdown run by Stoltz, number 6, and then the second one was against. I'm not going to say it was just because it was the second, but the backups for Imperial. But it's not what Coach would want. I mean, I'm sure Coach Fritz would like to see more production out of his ones versus the other team's ones. Here we go, 2-point conversion for Acosta. Acosta's being rushed. Acosta's looking. Acosta throws a floater, and that's complete to number 27. Good catch, and I do not have his numbers. And, folks, you have to apologize for some of these rosters. We grab them off of Max Preps that could have kids add or on. I do not have a number for 27. However, that was a great play by Acosta, who was being rushed by Platt, again, coming from the outside. So the Wildcats will now have, and that, hey, I know that should be the Wildcats ones out there, their starters. 34-8, Wildcats still in the lead with 10:51 remaining in the third quarter.
Well, one thing that touchdown does do that if anything Self's going to be happy about, he's not going to get that running clock because, look, he wants this machine to keep running. He just loves this well-oiled machine that he's watching tonight out on the field. So with 10:51, less than 2 minutes, less than 1 minute to go, this Cibola team shows that they can put some points up on the board, Ron.
Well, I'm telling you, Acosta has a live arm. I mean, that kid can throw that ball. I mean, that ball was in the air, I don't know, a good 40 yards and a great route. I mean, number 3, that's just a goal route right up the middle, fade. I didn't actually see the middle of that, but it was a streak down on the far sidelines. Beautiful pitch and catch, touchdown.
Now, as Cibola is looking for next week, they play a team out of Phoenix, Brown, and then they go again. They play Avalon at Westview.
That's tough. These Yuma schools got to travel over 200 miles to get to Tucson or Phoenix. And here's the kick, another poocher. That fair catch by Torres. Torres will fair catch. A good job by Torres. That's that little soft spot between where Torres was lined up and the guy behind him. So the Wildcats will take over at the 24-yard line.
Yeah, a little chip shot right there that we've been seeing week after week. It kind of prevents, and it doesn't always prevent it, but it does help in prevention of that long runaway because those guys up there aren't always your fastest guys is that you have deep back there.
The shorter the kick, the less you have to cover, and 34-8. 10:51 remaining in the third quarter. Wildcats with the ball on the right hash.
Any
Trips to the
changes,
left.
Ron? Any changes you see on it?
There's zero changes. Brian Porta still the center, so the Wildcats are still going full bore, and why not? Gutierrez looks. Gutierrez is that a quarterback draw? I don't know. 30, 40, 45, 50. Cuts back to the 40. Trying to be tackled by number 3, and that is a good job by Isaiah Ariola. So it looked like a quarterback draw. I mean, I saw him deliberately come back, stop, and go. It didn't look like a scramble to me.
No, but Ron, this is how fired up, and he might, he might not be that vocal, rah type of leader. He is that on-field general type of leader. That's the type of guy Ethan Gutierrez is, man. Just with plays like that and his demeanor on the football field, his knowledge of the game, and then his pride for just like wanting to do the best for himself and the whole Brawley Wildcat team. I mean,
good run by Gutierrez. That was a big gain. I'm not too sure. I'm not a very good mathematician, but I think that started at the 24. Now the Wildcats find themselves at the Cibola 27-yard line. 1st and 10, right hash, tight set, motion by Corrales, and we may get.
Looks like it's going to be against.
No, it looks like offsides maybe.
Well, it looks like it might be on the defensive. I'm just going to guess it's on the defensive side. It's going to be offsides on the defense, so we'll see what it is.
White hat tonight is Gene Martin, flanked by Hector Tarango.
Yeah.
Benny Carter at umpire. Who's our back judge back? Is that Randy Ross? Not too sure.
That is Randy Ross.
Randy Ross back there, and I'm not too sure. The flank on the Cibola side. Now, this was the same crew that ran the JV team very well ref game earlier on today. These guys running a doubleheader, man. That's not too easy on referees.
Hey, I remember those days, Ron.
Yeah. What, 20, 15 years ago?
Actually 3, but that's okay.
Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Wildcats find themselves with the second down at, 1st and 5, I'm sorry.
1st and 5.
And there's the give to Corrales. Corrales trying to find his way to the left, fights his way forward. That was a hard-fought 5-yard gain. Is it a first down? Are they going to give him a first down? And it looks like they are going to say it's a first down. So Corrales, that was a good run.
Yeah.
I mean, it opened up, and give credit to the Cibola defense. They got there. They covered. But Corrales was shifty enough to get a first down for the Wildcats.
And that was mostly him because he made first contact after 2 yards, and then the 3 yards to make it a first down on that was all on him, Ron.
Once you see a sweep, and if that's a fast defense, man, everybody's coming at you. And that's, it's like a wave coming at you at the beach. Here we go, 1st and 10, tight set for the Wildcats. Motion again by Corrales. The give was up to Isaiah Young. That's another little gimmick for the Wildcats. You fake that sweep and you give to the fullback. So you have 2 options on that set. And here's a kid I'd like to see. Here comes number 42 for the Wildcat. That is Tanner Carranza.
Oh,
Tanner
definitely.
Carranza's
He was out last week,
He was out last week.
One of the things Billy was talking about, that close contact type of deal.
He was one of the kids that was affected by it. And now he's back. He was back in practice, and here we go. Let's see.
Kid's a stud. Kid's a stud on the football field and on the baseball field.
He is the son of Pedro Carranza, the head coach of the Brawley Wildcat baseball team. Doubles to the left. 2-back set. And there it is, touchdown. And that's what I had said earlier. The fake to Carranza, slow reaction by the Cibola defense, and then they don't see Gutierrez coming right after that fake. I mean,
we've seen that
you can't hesitate. You can't hesitate.
We've seen that he's so deceptive back there at the thing.
As a freshman, he was doing it really good, man. That's the deal. You have these good running backs, and it's hard on the defense what to do. But you have to do assignment football on this.
Yeah, and one thing on this extra point right here with 8:15 to go in the third quarter, we have Cibola Raiders jumping off sides. I'd like to mention something when you mentioned Coach Carranza. I mean, Tanner, the kid's just a stud on, his 2 older brothers have been studs. But let me tell you something. His sister, dynamite at the shortstop position for the Brawley Wildcats.
Right on. What grade is she?
She'll be a sophomore this season. Wow. She'll be a sophomore.
Good for her.
I got to cover a little bit of softball this past year. Yeah, she's in a class all by herself.
Shortstop, huh?
Shortstop, yeah.
Shortstop like quarterback of a football team.
She is. She might be the best athlete out of that whole family,
Good for her.
including Pedro.
Yeah. Oh, fire! And here it is. You practice this every time. fire call to the right. Daniel Camilo with the 2-point conversion. Headsy play. Hey, that's not by accident. That you run that. Every team
day.
in America runs it. When you do special team, fire right, fire left. That's a call. Fire's a call when it's a bad snap and the holder's basically running for his life.
And if we wait for Joaquin, do we have any new scores on that Imperial game there, Joaquin? What? It's 20-0 now. Valley's
Pulling away a little bit. Valley Center just kind of doing what they did to the Wildcats. They got up on the Wildcats early and slowly but surely, not a whole bunch of points, but the way their defense played the Wildcats sounds like they're doing the same thing to the Imperial Tigers. 8:15 remaining in the third quarter, 42-8. Wildcats get that touchdown back that they gave up on that play from Acosta to Isaiah Adiola. So let's see what the Cibola Raiders have in store for them now. Now what they've done, they've moved Stoltz. They moved Stoltz over to the left side of the return team, because that's where Brawley's been pushing it. Let's see if Huaro kicks away from him. Smart man. And that's going to roll to number 35.
better pick that up.
Picked it up at the 20, 25. He's going to roll his way out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
So good adjustment by the coaching staff on the Brawley Wildcat side. Hey, listen, if they're going to switch, we'll kick a different way.
Exactly. That's what they did.
And while we got a moment right here, Johnny's Burritos, family owned and operated, serving the Imperial Valley for over 60 years, located in Brawley, Imperial, and El Centro. I'll tell you what, for some of the best fries with cheese and taquitos, Johnny's is the place to go. Reach Air Medical Services. Patient care is our #1 priority, assuring calmness, security, and comfort. Recognized for compassionate, medically effective method for patient transport, safe, fast, and reliable.
1st and 10 for the Cibola Raiders. They give us to Rios. Rios going to bounce it out to the right. Rios got some room. Rios going to work his way up for about an 8 to 9 yard gain. Good run by Rios.
And while we have a little second down on that, I like to remind everybody, if you're at home and you got your phone or your tablet in front of your computer, you can always go to valleysportsnet.com and you will get up-to-date scoring on our website. Plus, not only that, you'll also be able to see all the stories, everything from behind, the highlights that we have put up, and some of the special things that we're doing on that website. And credit goes to that, to Eric Swain and Joaquin and Jalen, everybody working together to make that website what it is today.
Good job, boys. Acosta, quick out to Ariola.
And that's going to be enough for a first down, Ron.
That's quick stuff. You know, the thing is, Brawley's defensive line has been eating up the offensive line of Cibola. So what do? You just get that. You run shorter routes. Shorter routes mean lesser time to throw the ball. Short routes, get that ball out quick. And that's going to be another first down for the Cibola Raiders at their own 35-yard line. Ball's on the right hash. Acosta brings them up. Shotgun formation. Single back will be Rios. Give us to Rios up the middle, and he finds nothing. He finds nothing but a few Wildcats. On top of him looks like Platt. And also, I want to get the correct number. That looks like number 25. Number 25 for the Wildcats. No number for 25. I'm going to go ahead and say that is Mr. Moreno. And if anybody has the numbers correct, please let us know what number is Moreno and what number is Gutierrez, Matt Gutierrez. These are two freshmen that are not listed on this roster. Second down and 11, loss of 1 for the Cibola Raiders. Acosta checking the wristbands. He's looking. He has time. He's going to pull it down. He's being chased. He's still looking. He's going to tuck it and run. He's going to get tackled by number 24, Gilbert Tweety Gonzalez. Maybe a gain of 2 on that run.
So Tweety Gonzalez showing us that he's up to par to play at this level, Ron.
I'm gonna say that this is the best I've seen Corrales play. All the games that we've covered for Brawley. Calling his name on a positive note. He's just been there. He's on special teams. Just the kid got momentum. He made a couple of plays early on, and you build up. You know how it is.
Yeah, no, I
the
really
confidence
like it.
level just rises.
Yeah, no, that's the key
and he's
right
a
there.
kid playing with confidence. So that's a very good sign for the Wildcats. And Marshall Tagabon works really well with the defensive backs. 3rd down and 8. And it looks like we got flags on the field, bunch of flags.
With 5:19 to go, we got some penalties. And that's another thing right now, Ron. You mentioned coaching staff. You know, besides John Self, you know, name some of the coaches that have really been with this coaching staff and that's been with John for a lot of years. And let's give a little bit of credit to the guys that sometimes don't always get, you know, all due credit that they deserve.
You know, this is the thing with the Wildcats is there's consistency at all three levels. You've had the same coaches there forever. You've got Ray Van Diver, offensive line. You have Brandon Young, who's come on board the last 3 years. Marshall Tagamon at the varsity level. Then you go to the freshman and JV levels. You know, the coaches down there, you know, led by Sheldon Schoonover on the freshman level. You have, you know, Barrick Armstrong, Robert Marquez, and Mark Valdez. You know, all ex-Wildcat kids. You know, and we're just trying to teach the kids a tradition and how it is to play Brawley football, and it's working right now. Here we go. Acosta looking. Acosta's going to launch it. He's aiming for number 21. Playing center for was Aiden Torres, intended for Daniel Campa Ruzium. Boy, that's a tongue twister there. Incomplete pass. Had plenty of time. Like I said, he has a live arm, Mr. Acosta does.
50 yards, that ball was in the air. He just chucked it. And I wouldn't say it was a line drive, but also wasn't a floater up in the air. No, that was not a floater.
Yes.
That kid's got good arm strength right there.
So here we go, fourth down. Every punting situation right now seems to be an adventure for the Cibola Raiders. It was last week, and it has been going. This causes a timeout for the Cibola Raiders to figure out what they're going to do with this fourth down, Will.
Well, they do. They're deep in their territory, so we'll find out. Lettermans and Bros, have you earned your varsity letter? Get in contact with Dan at 760-693-5034 and let him customize your Letterman's jacket, whether it be football, baseball, volleyball, or softball. And then the way it's happening now, everybody young age is getting that letter. So as soon as you get your letter, give Dan a call at Letterman's and Bros. Once again, it's 760-693-5034. Hart Insurance. Insurance, our local community for over 70 years. Liz and their whole staff, probably the most helpful insurance company around out there. You know, been around for a long time. Like I said, over 70 years. Make sure and give either Liz or one of the people in their office a call at 760-344-1400, located in Brawley and El Centro. And we look down at fourth down for the Cibola Raiders.
Fourth down for the Raiders. And they're gonna. I'm gonna put my last dollar. They're gonna snap it to Stultz. There it is. Quick kick, and this one it backfires. Why? Because I think Platt might have gotten a hand on it. So with the block, quick. What do we call that, Will? Quick punt, quick kick, quick kick.
It was
quick
called
kick.
24 pitch, quick kick.
24 pitch, quick kick.
Yeah.
And that's one of the oldest play in the book and the playbooks of football history. You got a good guy with a good leg back there. Just pitch it to him. Let him do his thing.
You get him to get that soccer style.
Yeah,
So with
or that Australian, what do they call it now? Rugby kick.
So with 4:37 to go in the third quarter, let's say hello to Frank Perez at Graphic Industries. At Graphic Industries Incorporated, they offer a wide variety of services, including screen printing, vinyl graphics, embroidery, logo design, promotional products. They believe that when it comes to designing, it should be picking from a template, something that they created themselves, one and only. Give Frank a call at 760-351-9312, located at 535 East Street in Brawley. Good old Frank Perez, man, always supporting this north end down here.
Here we go. Gutierrez is looking. He's got time. He's being rushed, blitzed by number 15, and he's going to be smart. Man, no, does he throw that into an interception? No, he does not.
He does not, and that's the first time I've seen Ethan Gutierrez rushed out of the pocket like that.
Ramon Espinoza was coming on a blitz, it seemed like, and it was a good call, defensive call, made Gutierrez get rid of the ball way before he wanted to. He's been having a lot of time. The quarterback for the Wildcats has had a lot of time to throw the ball. Now, are the Raiders going to put a little bit of pressure on him? But every time you put pressure on somebody, you blitz somebody, what does that do? It leaves a spot open. So if you're blitzing a linebacker, you're leaving a spot open.
And
you're hoping they don't catch it. But here it goes. Wildcats, 2nd down and 10.
And they're not scared. Self's not scared. Look, he's running to the short side wanting to get that pass completed. He's on this side of the hash marks. which would be the south side for me and you up here.
Yes, sir. Right hash, trips to the left. Isaiah Young is the lone bag. Isaiah Young has had a good game. They give us to Young. No, it's not. Gutierrez rolling to his left. That's a hard thing. Throws off his back foot. He's open, and that's Daniel Camilo. Touchdown. Daniel Camilo. It's a catch, and it's in the end zone. And is it a touchdown? Yes, it is.
I mean, look, go deep. He just pointed, go deep. He chucked it downfield. What a good play. Not only that, good communication between those two, Ron.
Good communication. They've been doing it since Pop Warner AYF days. And let me tell you something. That's a thing I've noticed from first quarter on to where we're at right now is Gutierrez feeling it, feeling the rhythm. You know, throwing the ball, not technically sound where you plant both feet. Right there, he just launched it off his feet like he's playing at Hawthorne Park, or what's it called now, Abe Gonzalez. That kick is up by Jorge Hotto, and looks like Hotto is going to drill it through the middle. 4:24 in the third quarter. Brawley Wildcats 49, Cibola Raiders 8.
And we'll be right back. Ron Rubio, Will Torres with the word from our sponsors.
Don't.
Welcome back, everybody. After we saw a great combination with Camilo and Gutierrez on that pass, it was an inside fake handoff. He rolled to his left, pointing downfield. Boom, touchdown, Brawley Wildcats. Now, with the score being 49-8, with 4:24 to go in the clock, as John Seaman told us prior to this, it's a 35 point with the running clock. It should be starting.
Right now, or do they have to wait till the fourth quarter?
No, negative. It starts right away after the second half. And that deserves a flag right there. There's no reason
There's
to
no
do that.
reason for that, and that's the deal. These are the kind of plays that, as a coach, you don't like seeing, and it's unnecessary. However, so that's going to tack on to the yardage for personal foul, and it's a helmet.
Whoa, see, now when you start using that you use that helmet like that, depends on who it is, because you call it again, I mean, you'll be ejected, and you're ejected for 2 games on that. I thought they were just going to call a late hit because I thought he might have just ran on top of him. So this is important what he calls on this play. If he says he used his helmet, and then you can see John Self out there on the field. Hey, wait a minute.
With it.
I'm going to agree it's a late hit, but I'm not going to agree that was using his helmet. And I think me and Gene might have had the same distance apart, and I don't think that helmet was used right there. So, but,
First and 10 for the Cibola Raiders. Ball's at their 40-yard line. Good field position after the late hit. And they give us to Rios. Rios 40, Rios 45. Rios spins to the 50. He's going to be brought down by Torres, but not after he gains 12 yards for a first and 10 for the Raiders. And that's a good run by Rios. And I think, Cibola, I'm not too sure what their competition looks like down the road, but right now, as Coach Fritz, sure, you're at the, you're getting beat 49-8, but the positive things, you've got your quarterback Acosta back, you have your running back Rios back. You are having some positive plays right now. Not everything's in reverse like it was in Imperial. 3:52 remaining, third quarter. Is it a running clock? I don't know. Acosta to Rios. Rios to the left. Rios, 40. Falls forward. Brought down by Platt and number 32. That's Caceres. Mario Caceres. Platt's in there. Caceres was in there. Wildcats still. Alan Carrillo still in there. So, and another thing, Wildcats haven't substituted anybody on defense. Not too many.
Well, do you think it's because Cibola Raiders haven't substituted anybody, Ron?
I'm not too sure what the call is on that, but it's 49-8, 3:21 remaining. And like I said, that's what I meant. My point about things being positive. They still are moving the ball little by little. And I'm going to say that is number 25. That must be the freshman kid. And here comes Caceres on a blitz. Acosta steps up and has the gumption to pitch it out to. He was hit by Bernie Bustamante, number 67. Acosta had the moxie to go ahead and shovel it to, and I hope that's not number 20, and it could be number 20. He took a big shot, man.
That's not what the Cibola Raiders needed, but Ron, that play by the quarterback to be able to toss it when he was in the grasp of the defensive player was just a great athletic thing. And while we have a timeout due to an injury, VSN will be right back with the word from our sponsors. Welcome back, everybody. While we still have an injury out in the field, I'd like to say thanks to some of our sponsors we have. We were talking about them earlier, and that's Frank Perez, much appreciated, at Graphic Industries, located down there in Brawley. You know what, Ron? It is number 20.
Yeah.
What a game he's had. I know it's been kind of tough for Cibola Raiders, but if there's one bright spot, him, number 20, and the quarterback, Rios, and the quarterback for him have actually done a great job, Acosta. I mean, just good to see something positive. I'm sure the coaching staff will look at that and they'll say, hey, look, these are some of the good things that happened after this whooping we just got in Brawley.
And if the Imperial game was the first game, these kids weren't in there, and now they're back in the second one, Hey, like I've said before, football is a week-to-week business. You lay an egg one week, the next week you're sitting on top of the world. That's how it works. The give is to number 8. I'm telling you, that's that bull, number 8. That's George Garcia. George Garcia last week. I'm not kidding you, folks. If it is George Garcia, and let me make sure that it is. It's not. It's number 6. That's Zach Stoltz. Zach Stoltz up the middle. But back to number 8, George Garcia. I'm not kidding you, folks. Last week, Garcia played the Wildcat. Now, that's the Wildcat position. You line up as quarterback, snap it directly to you. That kid ran the ball 8 plays in a row, and he led Cibola to a touchdown versus the Imperial Tigers. Here we go. Acosta shotgun formation. The give is to Stoltz. Stoltz bounces it to the right. Nothing up the middle. He hits right, and he gets some good yards. Stoltz, very athletic. The kid can run. They put him in the backfield, gets him a first down. It will be placed at the Brawley Wildcat 25-yard line. First down, clock stops to move the chains.
Well, that's the thing I have noticed. They might start it in the 4th, but, I don't know. Maybe both coaches agreed to let it run or whatever it is, which is good. Cibola Raiders looking, hey, look, we need to practice against tough opponents like this, especially if they got 2 coming up in Phoenix for the next 2 weeks away games.
High snap to Acosta. Acosta back to Stoltz. He's going to lose 1 yard trying to run to the right side of their offensive line. He runs into a host of Wildcats. Coming up is Mr. Alan Carrillo. Carrillo having a good ball game along with Platt. Platt's a busy kid out there. Comes from his outside back position, gets in on that tackle. Second down and 10 for the Cibola Raiders.
And Ron, it looks like the wind has totally calmed down here and making it even more muggier as the evening gets later in the day. Still with about 1:31 to go till the end of the 3rd quarter.
Acosta, he's looking. Acosta's trying to throw a fade, and he's a little bit of, way overthrown. Intended receiver will be number 27, I believe.
Nah. Still, these Cibola Raiders got to show. And, Ron, Cibola Raiders typically, from the last couple of years when we've been traveling, remember we went there 2 seasons ago. We visited their stadium, Cibola Raiders Stadium.
Yes.
What a crowd, man. Wasn't that crowd pumped up to go?
It was a good crowd. Wildcats come from behind victory. It was a crazy game that game.
That game was, it was physical. It was emotional. And
that's the thing you kind of see, That was a Cibola program, what, 2 years ago?
Yes, 2 years ago.
And
Yes.
you fast forward to now, a little bit different look to it, not as big as they used to be. And you know, be quite frank with you, it's not the solid Cibola Raider team that we've been accustomed to. Jailbreak, but it was set up that way. A screen to Stoltz. Stoltz, 10. He finds his way to 11. Hey, it looked like a jailbreak. All the defensive linemen were in. That was scripted. That's how you run a screen. And I'm surprised they haven't run that many screens. That's the first screen of the night completed. Stoltz ran it well, 1st and 10, all the way at the Wildcat 13-yard line.
Well, now they're looking deep into their playbook, Ronnie, and I agree with you. As fast as and quick as these Wildcats have been on the defensive side right here, I mean, you know, boom, you're going to get them at their own game right here by throwing that quick screen up the middle. And we do know that J.J. Galvan is watching, and once again, we'd like to wish him and Stella congratulations on your wedding tonight. Much appreciated, you guys tuning in.
Here we go. Acosta's throwing the fade to number 1, intended for number 1. Battling Isaiah Young. Good defensive coverage there. A little bit overthrown, but Acosta with that arm has the arm to make all the throws, and that was a fade to the corner over here on the left side. So now it's a 2nd down and 10 from the 12-yard line.
And the good thing I've seen out of well, if you're a Wildcat fan, you know, on the coaching staff and especially on the defensive side, you got very good coverage. I mean, maybe they're not as fast as we saw with the modern day and the scripts, but these corners are keeping up with these wide receivers, Ron.
It's a walk in the park tonight compared to modern day. Here we go. Acosta looking. Acosta, you know, the pressure comes up, makes it look like a quarterback draw, but it was not. He may have lost a yard on that, so.
It just started to close in on
him. They closed in on him. I'm not sure. So Charlie Lai looks like he's back to nose tackle. Hustled up, got a sack on there, and that should be the last play of the 3rd quarter, Will.
Well, it should be as they count down to 10 seconds. Cibola's going to let the clock run down, and I think Cibola was outmatched in when it comes even to special teams, offensive side, and the defensive side of the ball. So, with the end of the 3rd quarter happening, VSN, Will Torres, Ron Rubio will be right back after these messages. Welcome back, everybody, as we have the start of the 4th quarter. As you can see, the score being 49-8, and while it's still early in the 4th quarter, I'd like to give a special thanks to Jalen Fong for everything he does for VSN. Much appreciated. Like we said earlier, one of the hardest working guys we have on this crew. Ron Rubio from day one, our play-by-play guy. Eric Swain, welcome aboard this year. Much appreciated. If you guys notice our website, our telecasts have been fantastic with the help of Joaquin Matus helping that out. So we're very happy to do that. Of course, John Moreno and Vic Carrillo helping out with the 2nd crew that BSN has created. We're very thrilled, happy to have them. And then with Sarah on camera, we're trying to work out all the bugs to bring the best production we can to our viewing audience. So it's much appreciated. Make sure you go to our website. If you have any comments, make sure you leave them there.
Acosta being rushed by the Wildcats. Acosta bounces his way out, and he's going to be brought down by number 25. I'm going to say that's Matthew Moreno. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I've asked for a number check, and I have not received it. And I'm right, Matthew Moreno, number 25.
Fred Metamontes, our undersheriff right now for Imperial County Sheriff Department, wants you to know that you can start your neighborhood watch program in your rural area. Call the Sheriff's Department Crime Prevention Unit at 442-265-2000. That's Fred Miramontes. for the best burgers in town. It's Burgers and Beer, located at 260 North Imperial. Open 7 days a week, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Great food, great service. That's Burgers and Beers as we look at second down, 10:54 and counting for the Cibola Raiders.
Fourth down, and it's going to go nowhere. So the Wildcats will get the ball on turnover of downs. The Raiders had a 4th and 20 and may have lost a couple of yards on that. So a threat has been shut down. The Raiders were threatening.
And sometimes, Ron, you know, you see that play where they started to come back, but listen, that first quarter that the Brawley Wildcats put on, that show that they put on the first quarter, they didn't look. You felt it right away when Van Diver came up here and we said, "Hey, Van Diver, hey, good luck in the game." There was a little bit of extra, like, "Hey, now we're coming out strong, we're coming out fast, and we're coming at you." That's the kind of attitude that whole defense, that whole offense, that whole Wildcat team has right now. They've played very well tonight.
They started fast and they haven't let up. Dawson Figueroa at the controls now as a quarterback. The give was to. I'll get a number on that kid. So Dawson Figueroa is in there at quarterback. That was Matthew Moreno off the right side.
And our plan is to get with Letterman's and Bros. We are going to start giving a player of the week. Last week it was Seth Shaw for the Imperial Tigers. That's who was picked as the thing. So I will leave this one up to Ron and myself later, and we will pick up player of the game today for tonight's game. It's good to see these Wildcats, Ron. Still, like, do we have a whole second team? Or
looks
just
like the whole second team. I'm looking down there, and it looks like the Wildcats have a lot of young kids in there now.
But that's okay. When you're still moving the chains and moving that marker, that's something you want to see positive side, because that doesn't always mean that Cibola is changing that defense around. But they do look defeated, that's for sure.
The Wildcats now with 8:55 remaining. It looks like it is a running clock. They have a 3rd down and 2 from the 35-yard line. They give us to Moreno. Moreno up the middle. Moreno's going to find his way past the 40-yard line up to the 42. That's going to be a 1st down for the Wildcats.
Ron, let me interrupt because this is very interesting right now. In the 4th quarter, we have Vista Panthers 28, Central Union High School 28. So we have the Panthers out of Vista coming back on the El Centro Spartans. And once again, you can go to our website at valleysportsnet.com and get up-to-date sports with not only that, all our articles. And while I'm looking at our website, I'd like to congratulate Coach Turner from the Hopeville Vikings for being nominated Coach of the Week from the San Diego Chargers, which are now the LA Chargers. So congratulations to Coach Turner, a well-deserved congratulations going out to him.
Noah Gonzalez on that sweep to the right. Noah gained 7 yards on that play, making it 2nd down and 3 from the Wildcat 49-yard line. Wildcats with the new lineup in there, 79, David Martinez at 1 tackle, number 70, Jake Rivas. Not sure who the center is. Wildcats in a now familiar wing set type. To give us to Moreno. Moreno tries the right side of the defensive line. Gains maybe 2, maybe a yard on that, making it 3rd down and 2. Looks like Miguel Ramirez is in there, number 20.
So to interrupt you one more time with 7:14 running clock to go here at Warren Field, Brawley, California, we have another update. Vista Panthers 28, Central Spartans 35. The Central Spartans scoring late in the 4th quarter now.
6:58 remaining. Wildcats now trying to run the clock out. 6:55 and counting. 3rd down and 2. Ball's right at the 50. The give is a pitch. That's Noah Gonzalez. Gonzalez going nowhere. He's going to be brought down at the 45-yard line. A loss of maybe 4 yards on the play, bringing up a 4th down and 7.
Freddie Hernandez, number 11, just manhandled him. Wrapped his arms around him kind of high, didn't matter, and swung him around like a rag doll there,
Good tackle by Freddie Hernandez. Wildcats come off the field. Did not get a 1st down. They will be in punt formation. Back to punt will be number 12, and that is Aiden Torres. Now, I'm wondering why Carranza's not punting tonight. Maybe giving Aiden Torres a rep at the punt.
Now, he's been very consistent. Tanner was, so curious to see. Is this Brawley's first punt? Yes, it is.
Might be the first punt of the game, and that's Torres. Torres with a nice punt, end over end. It's going to take a Brawley bounce. Back to the field it is Mackay Washington, and good coverage by Mackay Washington. Is going to be placed at the 14-yard line for the Cibola Raiders.
And while we switch possessions on the ball with 5:44 to go, I'd like to make sure we do a shout out there to Big Chris at Top Notch Barber Shop. I know he's probably looking at his Imperial Tigers down right now to Valley Center, but you can always go check out Top Notch Barber, open 7 days a week at 317 Wake Avenue in El Centro. Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sundays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Regular haircuts are $20. Wednesday specials is $15. Military and senior discounts offered every day. Go down there to Top Notch Barber and say hello to Big Chris for us. Johnny's Burritos, owned and operated, serve the Imperial Valley for over 60 years. Johnny's Burritos located in Brawley, El Centro, and Imperial.
The give is to number 35 of the Raiders. He's trying the left side of the offensive line, and he's going to be brought down by a couple of Wildcats. Number 44, let's see, 44. That's going to be Brody Van Diver. Brody Van Diver with the tackle along with, trying to get a number there. Let's see, number 53 for the Wildcats. That is Daniel Calzada. Daniel Calzada with the tackle. Second down and 4 for the Cibola Raiders. Ball's at the 21-yard line. Clock is ticking, 4:25, clock running.
And speaking of Coach Turner, congratulations once again to him, but we do have a final. We have Hopeville 42, Maranatha 0, so congratulations to the Hopeville Vikings.
Raiders trying to get some yards. Good run. Maybe about a 12-yard gain all the way up to their own 34-yard line, 1st and 10. 4:04 minutes, inside 3 minutes now. Ball's placed at the 34-yard line. So next week, where are the Brawley Wildcats at? Cibola, Gila Ridge, I'm sorry.
They're in Phoenix area. They're going to be traveling to Phoenix for 2 weeks in a row, Ron.
That's where Cibola goes. Brawley will, I think Brawley's traveling to Gila Ridge to face another Yuma school. Acosta, give to 35. The left side, they're finding some success there. He's going to get another 11-yard gain, 1st and 10.
And VSN, Ron Rubio and Will Torres, along with Eric Swain and Joaquin Matus, we will be at Cal Jones Field, where the Central Spartans will be taking on the visiting Christian Patriots. Ron, you talk about a matchup for us next week. That is going to be one of the good matchups coming up, especially if El Centro hangs on to hang on to the winning right now with the score of 35-28, which it looks like they are, and they're still in the 4th quarter.
It'll be a good matchup, you know, very good. Like Wildcats and Spartans, they're kind of on the same path. They've scheduled very tough games. They've taken their lumps, and now they're also having some success.
Yeah, and in the 4th quarter, we have Calexico 21, Yuma 12 as the scores start to come in.
Where's that game at? Calexico?
Yeah, and we have a final out of Imperial. We have Valley Center 20, Imperial 7. That is a final. Valley Center Jaguars are victorious over the Imperial Tigers. So all that does, Ron, is make everything else very interesting because, you know, you have a score of 20-7. What was the Valley Center score with Brawley, Ron?
17-6, I think.
Yeah. So you have 2 teams that are pretty well matched up now.
Number 21, and I'm going to try to pronounce his last name again. It's Daniel Gampa Urizum. So Urizum with a good run there to the left side of the Wildcat. I'll make that the right side of the Wildcat defense. Bending a little. And for a 1st and 10 at the 45. Yeah, things are going to get interesting as the season goes on. You know, hopefully everything keeps going as they are. Teams start finding, I'm going to use that word again, traction. And that's what a football team does, is you start finding you're not making the same mistakes. You know, whether you're winning or losing, you're correcting your mistakes, getting better week to week. Here we go. 1st down for the Cibola Raiders, 1:24 remaining. Give us to 21. That's Urizum. Urizum up to the 40-yard line, gain of 5, 2nd down and 5.
So with the clock running down with 1:13, I'd like to let the audience know with Gavin Marini with the score tied 28-28 earlier. Galvini takes the kickoff 70 yards, and that is what gave the Central Spartans a 35-28 lead with 1 minute to go in the fourth quarter.
Special teams.
Wow. Talk about Rookie Pena saying that he was going to regroup, get everything together, and they were going to be good. He sure proved the point. So once again, with that might being the last play of the game, VSN, Ron Rubio, Will Torres will be at Cal Jones Field. We will also have a game where we have John Moreno and Vic Carrillo. They will be traveling to the Hopeville Vikings, where they will be taking on the Calexico Bulldogs. That will be your matchups, you know, barring any kind of blockage we might have, which you never know in this type of season. That's what it looks like we're going to have next week. So that's what we have on the schedule. So with 13 seconds to go.
The Brawley Wildcats will improve to 2-2 today after tonight's game. So the Wildcats going to wrap up with the victory. The Wildcats now find themselves at two wins, 2 losses. And Cibola Raiders will go home 0-2, recoup. And let's see what happens next week as the Wildcats will travel to Gila Ridge.
And before we say goodnight, we do have a special edition coming up, and that's tomorrow night, where we're going to have special guests from KYMA tomorrow. We're going to welcome Scott Gross and Cole Johnson, where VSN will be at Southwest Field, where the Southwest Eagles will be taking on the Kofa Kings at 7 p.m. So like I said again, that's going to be a little bit different, Ron. We're going to welcome Scott Gross and Cole Johnson. So that's going to be interesting, guys. We appreciate everybody watching tonight. It'll be tomorrow will be Imperial Valley's only high school game going on tomorrow. So we appreciate you guys tune in tomorrow and welcome them. Welcome Cole and welcome them. We're ready to go. And from Will Torres, Ron Rubio, Eric Swain, Ryan Rebelart coming up here to visit us, Joaquin Matus, and Sarah, Jalen Fong out in the field. Good night. Drive safe. See you tomorrow.